Good morning. This is Kathleen Griffin. This is Board of Assessment Appeal hearings for Monday, March 15th in Conference Room 2. It is 8:58 a.m.
Just going through my emails.
Okay.
That's the revised.
Well, I've got the neighborhood. That should help a lot.
Yeah, I printed them, put them in there, and then saw that.
So. No, it's okay. I appreciate that.
So you can just, yes, that's
I know for the others, because I call on them that way, and, you know,
yep.
I don't have, it's one thing to probably never told them to write.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning.
Sorry.
Irma, that's okay.
Yes. I came all the way here and I realized I left papers at home.
Oh, no worries. That's good. And I heard you had an appeal the other day as well, right?
Yes.
So you heard a lot of the how the process goes in here.
Yes.
So if you're good, have a seat, take off your coat, and just try to heat around here. Well, you're not all weekend, it's a little chilly, but I'm going to maybe turn it down if it's too noisy for you. So, welcome. I'm Kathleen Griffin. I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals, and I'm going to hear your appeal today. As you know, your appeal is also being recorded. Here, let me make sure the green lights are on. Yep, so we're good. Okay, and then I'm just going to read you some information about your appeal, and just please correct me if any of it is wrong.
Sure.
Okay, so it is 9:09 a.m. Your appeal number is 635. Property address is 375 Warnerville Road.
Yes.
Owner of the property is Lucas LLC.
Yes.
The town has the property valued at $2,150,600.
Yes.
And you're requesting a reduction to $1,380,000.
Yes.
Okay, great. Oh, thanks, Catherine. And then the next thing, I'm just going to confirm that you are who you are. So, please, just state your name and whether you are the duly authorized agent or the owner.
Owner.
You're the owner of the Lucas LLC. Okay,
Yes.
great. So I don't know where's my little statement here. So I'm just going to ask you to raise your right hand and I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, great. So just need you to sign. You probably did this the other day. It's right there in the middle. Just that you were here and you are who you are. So. Okay, let me turn this off. It's warming up a little bit. Old building. You're probably familiar with that based on what's a little bit at your house. So now this is your opportunity to, tell me, to convey to the board why you believe your property the value should be reduced to $1,380,000. And I'm assuming you mean that that's the appraised value, not the assessed value. Is that accurate? Okay. Okay, great.
So I pulled a comparison in town. First of all, when I bought the house, I kind of thought it's in way better condition than it is. So I think the price original value should have been much less because it needed all new plumbing, new electrical, new roofing, new kitchen, all new bathrooms. Pretty much the house has to be gutted and redone, including all new windows, all new doors, which is just sliding doors in the house. There's 13. They all completely shot. They don't open. If they do open, it's like you have to tape them to close them.
What's the age of the home?
It was built 1910.
1910. And how many square feet do you know off the top? It's probably on the field.
It's 5,000, and that's the thing that I didn't grab, I think.
That's
5,200, which actually was advertised as 7,600. It's nowhere close. It's 5,200.
I'm sorry, where did you see the 7,000 number? On the...
It was advertised when I bought.
Oh, advertised
Yes.
as that. Does the town have it as that?
No.
Let me see what we have. The town has the living area as 5,272 square feet.
Yes.
Okay. So that's accurate. Okay.
Yes. So when we bought home, we did some work. In March last year, we moved in, even though we still, sorry, not March, what I'm talking about, August last year, 2020, we moved in because the place where we lived, we had to move out already, and the renovation still wasn't done. So as of October 2020, we did not have a kitchen in the house. The kitchen was delivered but was not installed. There was no countertop, no sink working. Nothing was functioning in the kitchen. The windows were never changed until this day. The sliding doors were ordered, and I have an estimated 70. It's $53,000 plus $32,000 installation, so it's almost $90,000. The roofing is the work that needs, which is all flat roof, needs to be changed. The copper on the gables all around the house has to be removed, fixed, and new ones put on. That's a lot of.
Sure. So can you tell me of the work that you needed to do? How much of it is complete today? Because even though we value you as of October 2020, as people do work on their houses, you may have heard this from the assessor's office, that we start to add that value. So in other words, if your new kitchen is in, or your new windows are in, or your new sliding doors are in, then your house would be worth more. So.
As of October 2020, right?
No, as of today. So in other words,
I thought this is appraisal of 2020, sorry.
Well, it is, but then say, because that value will stay with your home for 5 years unless you do work on it after that. So say you buy your house and you're appraised at, I don't know, just making it up, $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
But then you go and put on a 3-car garage, we're going to tax you on that garage. Not like you can stay at $1 million. So just like, so it's the condition, so as people pull building permits, the assessor's office sees those building permits, and then they continue to increase the appraised value on the house based on how much work is done and the percentage complete. So if you were 30% done, you'd get taxed on 30%. Roughly, you would be not taxed, you'd be appraised on 30% of that work or assessed. So, in other words, because you can continue to improve your house over 5 years, so it makes sense if you did a lot of work, your house is worth more. But the base price would still be as of October, but then they would just continue to look at it in October 2020 value, but the improvements would be added to that value.
So that's taxed as of October 2020, right?
That's the grand list date. That's correct. So basically, they're looking at the base period then. But if you do work, then they improve it back to that amount. So it's a little confusing. I don't want to misquote how they do it, but basically when you do work, like I do work on my house, right? I put on a garage. So
I understand what you say, but I understand I'll be paying taxes as of October 2020, and
we won't cash you back to then. But once you start to do work, your value will increase.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
So.
Yeah. But
I'm a little confused because every hearing I went, it was as of the date of appraisal, so it's already as of that date.
Yeah, it is. But then as you continue to do work, it will go up. That's all I'm saying.
So that will be for next year.
Sometimes they
Because I have permits and it's
right.
not closed
so
yet.
Your field card will probably show the permits. Let me just see. So anyway, let's see what they have on your card. I don't want to take too much time because the assessor can explain it to you, but I see, where's the permit?
It's for the kitchen master.
Yeah, I don't see a permit on here. I see a chimney removal.
Sorry?
Right, I see a remove a chimney and remodel for $50,000. Am I looking at the right property? Yeah, the Sturgis property. Yeah, I don't see a building permit on your card here.
There should be, I don't know what it's on.
Yeah, do you see, this is what I'm looking right here. So usually when there's permits pulled under the building permit record, like when I replaced my windows, there was a line in here for my windows.
I went there myself with that, so I'm not sure why it's not.
Okay, no worries. But okay, well, let's just stay with what you have, and then we'll, I'll have the assessor's office help you figure that piece out. That's why I'm asking you what's done, just so that, we know. So your windows are done, your sliding doors?
No, they're not done.
Okay.
The sliding door's not done, and that's what
last
night the wind was flying through my whole house.
Okay, so what has been done since you moved in? The kitchen?
The kitchen is partially done.
Okay.
It's not finished 100%.
Okay.
I'm going to go, I guess, room by room because I have something else ready, and that's
different
than
no worries. So let's move that to the. Let me have the assessor's office call you about the permit, and then they can get back to me about what work has been done, so we don't have to put that in the record. Right now we'll just add it to the file as they give me more information.
So let's just get to what you,
So out of,
how you want, let's get to your value of $1.3 million, because that's really what I want to hear from
Sure.
you. Yeah.
so the roof work still needs to be done.
Okay.
That is almost $70,000. Completely brand new driveway still needs to be done. As you know, that driveway is huge, and that is $74,000 estimate, $74,730. The windows are not even ordered. I didn't even get a quote yet, which will be another almost $100,000. One of the rooms on the first floor not even touched. It's not even gutted yet. It's not a livable condition.
Okay.
Another room right above, which is around 400 square feet, that is not even touched. Out of 4 bathrooms upstairs, only 2 finished.
Do the other ones work or no?
No.
They don't work. So of the 4 bathrooms in the house, only 2 actually work.
Yes.
Okay. Plumbing leaks or whatever on the other 2.
They're not finished. There's no tile, nothing installed. So
Okay, so they're in
the walls
process.
are closed, but the house it's not something that I would sell right now and get $2.2 million. Nobody would buy.
I'm in the middle of that right now myself. I got insulation hanging down and ripped out sheetrock. No one would buy my house.
You know, they took a picture from outside, and yes, it looks beautiful. And it was
I am with you.
green trees and everything, but it's not a condition of the house that I compared, like
Right.
939 Hillside Road. The house is beautiful. I understand why it sold for.
So, okay, so you want to give me some comparable properties that you believe that are closer to the value of your home, or how do you want to work it? Okay.
I'm just have a comparison to properties that sold, and mine needs tons of work. Mine doesn't have a garage. It says 2-car garage, but you can't fit even a car. The garage is so old that you can keep it as a storage. My cars don't fit in that garage. And they all destroyed by termites and some kind of bees, I don't know what they are. So that outer buildings that they pretty much a tear down condition, just
Sure.
a storage space.
Okay, so tell me about the comparables that you have, and whether you think they're, a similar style or whatever to yours, and what they sold for, the date that they sold.
Sure.
Okay.
So 906 Mill Hill Road.
906 Mill Hill Road. Okay.
Yes. Sold for $930, which is down the street from me. Mill Hill Road and Warner Hill is the same road.
Right.
Sold for $930,000. The house is, first of all, livable. It's beautiful. I would say in very good condition. Not excellent, but it's very good condition.
Okay. And that's similar square footage and lot size to your home.
It's 3,700, so it's around 1,400 square feet less.
Right.
But
Okay.
it's a very good condition.
You're not a good sized parcel. I don't remember what your acreage is. Okay, similar acreage. Okay.
The second comparison is 1,945 North Street.
1945 North Street?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is the same square footage. It's sold for $1,012,000.
1,012,012. Okay.
It has, another thing, in my house, the heating works only in around 40% of the house. It has the old steam heating, and I can't find people who would fix it. We changed radiators, and turns out nobody can figure why the rest of the house is not working.
Okay.
AC also works only on the first floor. On the second floor, the motor broke, and because of COVID, the factory is closed. They can't get a new motor, so it's only on the first floor working.
Okay.
Again, that comparison I was just talking about has a 2-car garage and a barn.
So the 1945 North Street has a 2-car garage and a barn?
Yes.
Okay.
And then 2493 Reading Road.
2493 Reading Road.
Sold
Okay.
for $1.525 million.
1.525. Okay, and that's
so very
old.
old, the whole like fine. It has 5,400 square feet, 3.6 acres. It has 13 rooms, 5 bedrooms, 5 baths, AC, and heating working.
Right.
I've been in the house, and also has a barn, gazebo, in-ground pool that is working. My pool needs to be teared down. It's around 70 years old. And
Your pool is not working?
No.
Okay.
It has also 3-car garage, the Reading Road property, and it's beautiful. I have pictures printed out here.
Okay, great. We can add those to the file.
Yeah. And it's in a very good condition.
And it has a pool, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have any pumps that were in not such good condition, or no? It's okay if you
Probably.
don't. These are, I mean, three is good, as long as you feel like these are good comparables. And just, can you tell me how you got to the 138 figure from, from the 2.1? How did you come up with that particular value?
I have one more comparison.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, give me that.
It's 939 Hillside Road.
939.
Sold for $1,015,000. It has 4,000 square feet, and it has, it's again a beautiful home.
Okay.
And has everything working. It's renovated, nothing like mine. And as you can see, sold for $1,015,000.
Okay.
And in order for me to bring the house to the conditions that these that were sold, I need to spend at least $400,000 or $500,000 to, without even landscaping, which my landscaping is the wild woods that
I hear
hundreds
you.
of thousands is in there probably.
So you need to spend $400,000 to $500,000, you think, to get where you need to be?
To get at least close to these homes that
To get
sold.
close to that. Okay.
I can't find a house, $2.2 million. Nobody would buy the house in this condition.
Okay.
And I'm just asking for fair value here. And
yeah, and you paid $1.3 million for it, is that right?
yeah, I was thinking that it's in better condition, but when we moved in, turned out neither of the bathrooms were working. The water was gushing through the walls. And
okay, but you paid $1.3 million in December of 2018.
yeah.
Okay, and then what was my other question? My train of thought. Did you have an informal hearing? Did you
No,
go
I
to
did
the-
not.
No,
Actually, the letter for it came after the hearing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that helps us, because often if the reval company, had reviewed your property, we would, they might have given you some adjustment during that period of time. But
I wish I called, but I got the letter after the
it's okay. Yeah.
moment.
Yeah. No, so not everybody went, and so that's fine. It's just that then you come to us. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
We're going to take a look at it. So if you want to hand in the rest of the paperwork for your file, what I'm going to do after I'm done for today, I'm going to ask the assessor's office to take a look, one, and see why the permits aren't on there for the work that you've done.
Yeah.
And then also, if you're okay with it, I'm going to ask them to come to your home and take a look with you.
Sure.
And then, then they can inspect the property, and then they can give us a better idea of, the fact that you paid $1.3 million, we have it at $2.1 million. That says a lot to me. I know you're asking to go, but to see that difference, in 2 years, the market hasn't changed that much. It hasn't improved that much. So I don't, I think it's important that, and especially, if you didn't have an informal hearing, I think it's important that the assessor's office come in. Because often when they see...
And they need to consider that, I understand it's a historic home, but it's not one of those homes where you come in a grand stair, and it's a very awkward home inside.
Yes, I agree with you. So let's let them do some work, let's let the board do some work, and so we'll probably just, they will get back to us. They may go in and give us their opinion of, of the condition of the home, and let's figure out what's going on with the permit, so that when you do make it beautiful and spend your $400,000 to $500,000, then you will be paying, you will be appraised appropriately, because your house is now can sell for, whatever that new number might be. But
I
right
also
now,
have a question. It's listed as a historic nationwide and locally. I was told by one of the attorneys that I should be getting taxed, some kind of protection.
for the historic, okay, let me ask about that.
Yeah.
The assessor's office might be able to tell you how that works.
Because when I bought the house, I was told my taxes should never go crazy, and with this kind of assessment, I think it will.
Okay, so let me add that about this. That's a question I can ask about the historic home designation.
And then have you looked at grants at all? I'm just curious.
Sorry, look at what?
Have you looked for grants at all to help you pay for your renovation?
I did, but nobody's responding anywhere. Nobody.
Nobody. Okay, so let me see, because we do have a historic district commission.
Who also didn't respond to me.
Huh, okay.
I left numerous messages the first year and no response at all.
Okay. Grants or help, okay. Because we know, I mean, you know, it's a flagship property in town. So I don't know whether they can help you, but I think that they should at least give you a response and just say, you know, yes, we do, you know, we help you, steer you towards what grants are available at the state level, you know, for projects like this. Yeah, because there's other people who've gotten that as well. So, yeah, we will,
I built houses with the banging radiators at night, and they're not even working. It's like, oh, it's for $2.2 million, no.
I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, and if we have more questions, we will call you, okay? But I'll have them give you, at least reach out first to get the permits in the work.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Today.
Good, thank you. Have a seat. I'm just going to go grab myself a box of paper clips because I realized they must have had legs the other day.
I got it. I know that's...
Two different pairs of glasses when they give us these sheets that are so small. I should just bring a magnifying glass. Let's see. Okay, sorry, let me get started and we'll organize.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Okay. I'm Kathleen Griffin. I'm one of 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals.
Okay.
And I am here to hear your appeal today.
Great.
I want to let you know you're being recorded on this telephone, you know, right there. That's recording you, and also broadcasting it live to anybody who would be interested in listening.
Okay.
Let's see, it's 9:31. Okay, and first I'm just going to read some information into the record. If you could correct me and let me know if any of it is, you know, incorrect. So your appeal number is number 24.
Yep.
Property address 501 Warner Hill Road.
Correct.
The owners of the property are Richard Perkin, and the rest of it's cut off here, so I'm assuming there's another...
Ashley Perkin, my wife.
Ashley, okay. And the town's value on the property is $1,642,600.
Yep.
And you're requesting a reduction to $1,400,000.
Correct.
Okay, great. And then the next thing I'm just going to do is confirm that you are who you are and swear you in.
Okay.
So if for the record, if you could state your name and whether you are the owner of the property or a duly authorized agent on the property.
Sure. Richard Perkin, and I am the owner of the property.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand and then we'll swear you in. No little swear in. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, great. So if you can just find that paper that she gave you right in the middle there on the top line, I will take that from you and add it to the file. And now is your opportunity to tell me why you believe that the market value of your home on October 1st was what you're requesting and not the value assigned by the town. As you may know, market value is what a home might most likely would have sold for on that date.
Right. No, I plugged it in the application here, and simply that I had an independent appraisal.
Okay.
Appraiser, Bob Wyden, who appraised the house at $1.4 million based on, and I apologize, I have my appraisal on the phone here. I also submitted an application.
That's okay. I believe it should be in the file.
It is, yeah. I included it with my application for
Wonderful.
appeal.
Okay.
And that's based on comparable sales. And then as of the same date, 10/1/20, and his determination was that the fair market value was 1.4, as opposed to the town's valuation of 1.6426.
Okay, great. And this was done for your appeal, not for a bank appraisal or a mortgage or anything. This was done specifically.
Correct. Yeah. It just in conjunction with me wanting to know, what's out there, what the market is saying.
Sure.
These are crazy times. So.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Okay. So if you can just walk me through his appraisal a little bit and tell me, it looks like he has 1, 2, 3, 4 comparable sales.
Correct. And he does note in there.
Attached addendum. Let me see where.
Somewhere that there's a number of comp sales. Ideally, let's see. Gosh darn it.
That's okay.
It's like 6, I want to say, but the houses that, as of that date, moving weren't. I think weren't 6, right? So he used 4, which
so he excluded some. I'm just what you said. The summary of sales comparison approach, the addendum. Okay.
Yes.
Did he give a little summary of how he did his work? I was looking.
I believe so. I mean, he was just looking. If you look towards the end of it.
Yeah, they put the staples out. I hope I don't take it out.
There is. He basically took the site all within less than, I think, a mile of our residence, and the houses that were again comparable in size and so forth.
Okay.
I think our house was built in 1981.
Okay.
I think that's a big kind of difference with this whole thing, is that we haven't. It's the same structure as it was in 81.
Sure. And the age of the properties,
some are, like I know that the first one, comparable sales, with 191 Fields Rock Road. That's a newer construction, newer compared to ours, I believe. And a few others. They all come in less expensive, if you will, except with comp sale number 3, which 809 Cedar Road, which I know is a pretty stunning property.
that's what I was going to ask you of the 4 that he listed on 191 Fields Rock Road, 261 White Hill Lane, 809 Cedar Road, and 200 Jessica Lane. So if you were to pick one of those 4 that you feel is most like yours in terms of style, age, curb appeal, which one would you pick?
Good question. Curb appeal, our house is set back. You can't even see it from the road. Age, in full candor, I haven't taken a deep dive on each one of these.
Okay.
I would, I know it's, this is going to sound awfully convenient, but I do believe it. The comp sale 2, okay, and comp sale 4. Comp sale 4 is listed as 1.58, well north of what the 1.4 is for ours, and comp sale 2 is 1.36. And I think through discussions with Bob, that's where that 1.4 comes from. It's not an exact splitting the difference between the two, but you have one that's a little less than 1.4, one that's a little bigger than 1.5, and I think those two houses are probably as close, again, to those houses that have sold in the time period that we're talking about.
Right. One sold the White, so you're talking about 261 White Hill Lane. That closed on July 20th, was on the market for 24 days.
Yeah, and then
the other
200 Jessica Lane,
which closed in November of 19, so a little pre-COVID.
Yes.
Yeah. Did he adjust for any time adjustment to move that number up because, we're trying to get to October 2020, so we know the market has some.
Right. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just looking. I'm not seeing it on most of the other ones. Every now and then there will be a note from the appraiser who will say, yes, I
Right.
time adjusted this price because even though it is within the reval period, we're obviously seeing very different prices from October 19 to October 2020.
Sure.
So that's why sometimes we prefer to see the ones that are closer. It just gives us a better idea of where we're going to be. But
sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So 261 White Hill Lane and 200 Jessica Lane, those are the two you feel are probably.
I believe,
Colonial.
I'm not in the, I'm not in the business here, so I don't know, but I think, what is the true market value? The market value is what somebody will pay for it, right?
100%.
So I can't, in good faith sit here and say, well, this is exactly an apples to apples comparison.
Right.
Again, because there's just so much, if they've got whole new heating, they've got whole new, or, recently refinished and new kitchen and all that, all that.
Which one's that, the Jessica?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying if they did all that stuff is going to influence, So.
Right. And how's the condition of your home on the inside? You included some pictures here?
But pretty good.
Did you do your kitchen recently? Or?
No.
Okay.
You can talk to my wife about that.
Yeah,
I probably should have. No, the cat, all that is, it was a plug and play. That's one of the reasons why we liked it. But we repainted when we moved in, and changed the carpets and things like that.
Okay.
But no additions or.
And I'm looking at some tile floors in the kitchen, and I stopped to see the, the condition of your appliances and all of that. But
the range. The range really. Well, I was looking into getting a new stovetop, and you guys can come and check it. It's so old because we want to that the shape isn't. You can't get that shape anymore, which means we'd have to get new countertops, which is a whole. You know what I mean? So and with 4 kids, where we live in our kitchen, 2 of them.
I see the high chair in the corner.
We live in our kitchen, so the idea of redoing that now is not an option.
Right. Okay, so would you say it's a 2000 kitchen, a 1990?
We put in a new dishwasher that broke. Again, we're running that thing. We put in a new microwave. Our top oven still doesn't work, but the other one does. But it's. The cabinets I've done touch-up work painting on them, but other than that,
He didn't include a ton of pictures of the interior, so it's just hard for us to see. He did a street scene. He did a kitchen and a living room, unless it got cut off.
The street, kitchen, living room, there's the bathroom.
Okay, see, where's the bathroom? I don't
underneath the living room and kitchen. Yeah, there's the range. You can see
I think it got cut off. The only interior photos I have, at least here, and maybe they're online, and maybe it just didn't print because it couldn't delete. Some of them are legal. See, this is what I have for the interior.
And those did
These
get
cut off.
So there's our one bathroom.
So it shows you your bathroom.
There's the front walk. And then it goes into the comp.
It goes into the comp. Okay, so that's probably online. I just don't have it.
Correct.
Okay, so that's your bathroom.
And I can happily email you this. Because I think it's an appraiser's report, so with my printer at home, maybe it doesn't. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe it prints.
Or they just didn't see when they scanned it. They may have cut off the bottom.
Okay.
So I'm just going to ask them to check.
I'm happy to send. Whatever.
I can also see. What do you? I don't want to get too far behind here, but let's see. You are 501 Warren Hill. Let me just check with all the documentation's online, so I can look and see whether it's just because the printer didn't print it when they put it in the folder, or whether.
Sure.
Let me see. Free soul. Yeah, that page got cut off. I don't know if it was by you or by me. So if you could just email to BAA@fairfieldct.org.
I'll literally do that.
Just say the interior photos on page, whatever it is, the appraisal were cut off. And then we have those additional photos and because those are helpful. So, people look up the comparable sales on, and they look at the interior photos compared to yours, and that helps us verify that the comps are, good comps.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to email right now.
Sure. BAA for Board of Assessment Appeals.
BAA, yep.
At Fairfield CT.
At Fairfield
CT.org.
B like boy, apple, at fairfieldct.org.
And if you can just put appeal number 24 in the subject line or somewhere in the email so they know that this is for your appeal.
Appeal number 24.
And the only other thing I just wanted to point out is that most of these properties he comped are a little bit further away from town. They're more north, Jessica Lane, Cedar Road, White Hill Lane. Okay, so you're a little closer to your Mill Terrace than they are. Okay.
Yeah, it kind of back. We're up almost behind Oliver's nursery, up the hill but back.
Can you walk to the Mill Hill School from your?
Well,
technically, right? I see barberries here.
Yeah, you could. I think we're not. My boys are there and they don't walk. But
it's not a great walking street, I don't believe, right?
Yeah. So we don't.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just looking at the map here. Okay.
Let me see. So I'm going to appeal number 24. Okay, bang. So I'm sending that.
We're getting new photos of the kitchen.
Yeah. Just made. Yeah, I got that emailed. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's good. Anything else? So that's the only thing we'll add to the file. You've got the appraisal here.
Yeah.
Sort of, led me towards which ones you think are the better comps. Told me about your kitchen.
Yeah. No, I think that's it. Honestly, I can say we've done, we've had a little tree removal, but in terms of, upgrading the house, again, you can talk to my wife. Our driveway, that's another thing. I don't know but that's, I think, original 81. It looks like a jigsaw puzzle coming in. And, again, that probably would increase the value of our house if we were to redo that. But that's our driveway goes back. And it's a big ticket to do and all that. So I guess that's my only point is from our house. Yeah, it's pretty, other than some touch-ups and paints, the front walk thing, all of it is the original stuff.
And what you, from the 80s or also what you bought?
Yeah, what we bought.
And purchased in 2013.
In 13, and so again, yeah, I can't say original when. Fair question. That I don't, but it's not. It doesn't look like it was made yesterday. I'll put it that way. Again, I should have had my wife here. I do what I can, but.
Yeah. No, it all helps. Condition is, something that we compare, right?
Yeah.
Comparables, and I'll have to look a little closer at his appraisal, but maybe he considered them. He may have done superior and
sure.
For that.
Okay, understood. All right.
Tell 1,000 words. So.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, well, thank you.
And what do you have, 4 boys?
Yeah, I've got a 5, 7-year-old, and then we were going for the girl, and we got twin boys.
Oh, that's
20 months. So no, it's great, but right now, with during the quarantine
and trying to teach them at home when they're so little.
That was, I'm not a teacher, and that was a struggle. But
I had 2 boys, but they had a million friends over all the time, so I felt like I had 10 boys. So, and I loved it.
It's funny, we were, the play date thing, you just never knew how, other parents, it's the whole thing is crazy. But they're getting back to school. And
once COVID's over, they're going to love having them.
Yeah. Well, we've embraced it. Look.
Boys are the best.
It's fun, but we're, good family time, all that stuff. So we kind of took it. But 5, 7, and 2 20-month-olds. Yeah, that was going through like a gallon of milk a day. So
I bet. You're welcome to warm weather for sure. You can get them outside.
Okay, thank you, Dad.
All right.
Kathleen, I'm just sending Greg up, and then after Greg, is a phone call, just.
Oh, thank you for that reminder.
Yeah.
I tried to write.
I know
on my list
you
today.
haven't sprinkled in today, so I'm trying to circle them.
So, yeah, if you can give me a little, whatever, when we get close to that time.
Sure, I'll come up around then.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank
Okay,
you.
great, thanks.
Good morning, Greg. How are
Good
you?
morning. I'm cold. I had to get out my.
I'm cold too.
I thought I put my winter sport coats away, but I had to find my other wool one just to stay warm.
I know, and it's got this big clunky heater in here. Usually this room is super hot, so I put on, not a lot of warm clothes, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, it's chilly.
I could be gallant and give you my coat to wear if you want to stay warm. It's really warm.
Mine's right there. Thank
really,
you. I appreciate
nice and warm, I got to tell you.
I got one too. But,
okay.
there's my square.
You want some lights on in here?
I prefer them not, but if you would like them, go ahead. I've got some nice natural light coming over my shoulder.
I'm good for now.
With light-colored eyes, sometimes it gets too bright. Okay, so you have 4 today.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got a sale at Fairfield Beach actually at 11 o'clock. I got to be in Norwalk at 12 and Ridgefield at 1.
Wow, busy kind of year for you. Okay, so do you want to start with one over the other? And they're all...
Let's just go in order. We're good.
Okay.
Callahan,
You got Callahan
1625.
first,
Yes.
1625?
Yes.
Okay, so you know who I am. I'm one of 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals.
Yes.
I'm going to read into the record. You're probably getting used to this by now.
Right.
Getting a little better at it. 9:49 a.m.
We could swear me in once and I could sign these and...
Perfect. Okay. So this is for appeal number 513, property address 1625 Bronson Road. The owner is Joseph Charles Callahan. The town has the property valued at $1,253,900, and a reduction is being requested to $675,000.
That's correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so like a 50% drop, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm just going to have you state your name for the record, whether you are the owner or the authorized agent.
And yes, my name's Greg Lane. I'm the authorized agent for Mr. Callahan, 1625 Bronson Road.
Great. And is there there's an authorization in here for this?
Yes. Do you want to sign me in for all 4 of these first, or?
Oh, you mean to have you to read them all into the record, or?
Well, you can give me my oath, and I can do it once.
Oh, yeah, that's right, I didn't give you the oath yet.
No.
Okay, I haven't set it up today. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the 4 assessment appeals you are about to present, appeal number 513, 280, 516, and 515, now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, great.
For the record, my name is Gregory Lane, L-A-N-E. Business address, P.O. Box 578, Southport, Connecticut, 06890. Here this morning, well, first of all, I'd like to...
And do you have the authorization for this?
I do, and I'll sign this for you.
Okay,
Here, I'll sign this. I'll give you authorization. I'll give you... Here's my sworn oath.
Okay.
Here's the appeal authorization. So it's actually, and Dave DeCilio was going to try and be here, but he called me and he's under the weather, so.
Oh, yes, and this time of year, I mean, it was what, 60 degrees, and now it's 20 or 5 with the wind chill they heard this morning?
It's cold. So I have 2 original color copies of the appraisal. These are both for you.
Awesome. Will you get a paper clip for you? And is there is one in the record already?
No.
No, there's not.
No.
Okay. Okay. So I get to keep one. I'm very happy about. Okay. And one will go to be scanned in and added to the record.
Right.
Okay. Let me find your 1625 Bronson Road.
It's important that we have a copy of the field card. I'm going to be referencing that. And then also, towards the mid to the back of the appraisal are quite a few photographs. There's a couple issues here.
Wait, give me 1 second. Let me call up the field card. I can do that from the agenda. That's often the fastest way. 1625 Bronson Road. Field card. Okay, I'm good.
Okay. So the subject property is a single-family dwelling. The house was built approximately 1956. The square footage, according to the town, is 4,593 square feet. If you look on the field card, there is a portion of the gross living area that's categorized as TQS, which is the finished area above. He has a 5-car attached heated garage, plus another 2-car detached garage.
So I was like 5-car attached, 2-car detached.
Right, and that's in the appraisal. It's here on the sketch.
I'm just looking to see, this house sounds familiar to me. Was it a field? Yeah, we heard the tenant.
And if you want to look, it's actually page 11 of the appraisal. It's probably like page 14 or 15 of the actual report. And there's some photographs of the garage, which is attached. And I'm calling the room above the garage, which the town has categorized as gross living area. It is heated area, but it's not like it's part of the house. You can't get to the rest of the house from this area. And it's basically just like a big bingo room.
So, okay, that's a 3/4 story?
Yes, and it's 1,392 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've done, I've categorized that separately than the gross living area of the house that has the kitchen, the dining room, the bedrooms, the bathrooms. Because it was added on later, and the purpose when it was constructed was to be a work area above the garage. He basically fixes up older cars. And you can see by the photographs, I have inside of the garage, and then you can see I have it actually categorized as the bingo room above the 5-car garage. And it's just a big room. It looks like it's a rummage sale. And then if you go back in the photographs, I do have to feel a little sorry for this gentleman. He is a hoarder, and he's lived there for his entire life. And actually now he's in the hospital.
I'm sorry to hear that.
He had a diabetic attack or something like that. So,
is the bingo room heated?
Yes, there is heat. There's actually a bath up there also, which is in the appraisal. I'm just trying to get that categorized separately than the rest of the house because it's not part of the house. You can't get to the rest of the house from there.
And so you feel that it should be valued differently than the...
Yes, I do. So I backed that 1,392 out of the square feet, and when I did my comps for the appraisal and for the gross living area of the house, I came up with 3,201 square feet, which makes much more sense for a single-family house.
Went to 3,200, what'd you say, 150, 100 square feet?
Well, it's 3,201.
Oh, one, okay.
Right, 30, and that's in the appraisal. It's
with the TQS removed. Oh.
That is the difference between the 4593 and less the 1392. That's the 3201.
Okay, and there's no access. You say you have to go into the garage, and there's stairs up to it from the garage.
Yes. So it's like a totally separate building, though it is attached. There's just one door you can get to it.
And one question, this is above the 3-car, this is above the detached 2-car?
It's above the 5-car attached.
Oh, all 5 are attached, okay.
Well, there's 5 attached, and there's a and then
there's a 2-car detached.
Exactly.
This is above the 5-car attached.
Yes, yes. So that's the main point that I would like to point out. It's on Bronson Road. It's kind of busy. That's obvious. Mm-hmm. And I'd also like to point out the condition of the interior, and that's very evident in all the photographs. I didn't have to be creative at all. It was really easy to take these pictures, and I feel sorry for the man having to live there, I have to tell you.
Okay.
I've seen a couple worse cases in my 30 years. But this one, this was a top tenor.
Okay, so let me find there are the interior photographs. I see.
They're more towards the back.
Yeah, I see them.
And You can see the bathroom.
garage, the window room, okay, the
Right.
bathroom.
And then, if you look at the bathrooms, it's pretty disgusting, I must say. I've had to kind of just stick my hand inside the bath and click a picture and walk away.
Bedrooms, attic space, kitchen, finished basement, bedrooms, living room, family room. Okay, there's one kitchen photo.
I probably have two, to tell you the truth. It's hard to tell what the rooms are because there's so much stuff in there.
Stuff in them, I hear you.
You can't, I mean, there's stuff. I had to
Yeah.
There was a path to try and go through because
and
there's
the
stuff
owner's
everywhere.
been the same owner for a while.
He was born there and he's been there his whole life.
Okay.
So,
Addition in 2009, that was the garage, and they remodeled the bath in 2001.
they may have redone the one up there, but the other ones you can see they didn't redo anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
And
what
they got
they
a change from the BAA in 16.
did. They?
Yeah, so the appraised came down, or assessed came down to 716, and it looks like with the revow, it went up by about 150 assessed. Okay, and now they're at 1.253.
Yeah, so it went up.
Okay, so tell me how you got to the 6 number, because that's a lot lower.
Well, I want to know how the town got to the 1.2 number.
Okay.
But basically, the house next door sold for $650, $675, very similar first comp, right on Bronson Road. So that was kind of didn't give me a whole lot of.
$650. Okay, when you took out the extra square footage.
Right.
Okay. And what was the property with that the comp?
Number 1.
1573 Bronson Road.
Yes. And that was a multiple listing. And also, it's important to note, the market's been increasing. I'm using positive time adjustments because the banks are having us do positive time adjustments of a positive 1% per month, which works out to be 12% a year. So any sale after April 1st, 2020,
after April 1 or before April 1?
After April 1, 2020.
Okay.
Because that's when things started to get kind of crazy with the whole COVID bug.
Right.
So that's the date that I've been using with the banks for the past year.
So so these sales, or what are the dates on these sales? Let me just see. You've got
they're right there. The first one is February 2020.
Okay.
So I bumped it up 6%. So that's where you get the plus $39,000 next to the date there.
Got it. There's your time adjustment.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'm adding value to the property.
Right, and you do it until April 1, or you do it until October 1.
I started April 1st, and then you go to October 1st for the revow date. So you got April, May, June, July, August, September. You got 6 months where I'm making a positive time adjustment. The date of value is as of 10/1/2020. So you do the positive time adjustment from April 1st, because that's when the market started to heat up.
Okay, I get it. Yeah. I've been looking for that on other appraisals because I was wondering if other appraisers are doing that when they're using their old sales, and I hadn't seen that, and I didn't know how it was being recorded, but now I do.
Yeah.
So you can basically count so no matter what, they're all going to be 6 months or whatever, April to October. So all of yours will be 6 months.
They will.
1% or 6% increase.
Yes. Now, some
on the sale price.
Yeah. So other appraisals that I've done that were subsequent to the 4/1/20 date, it could be 5%, 4%. It depends when the actual sale was.
So, you have a pool.
He doesn't have a pool.
He's not. So you're deducting for anything ground pools on the other one. Okay.
Yeah, the other house does have a pool. So
the excess acreage, you have more land than everybody else. He's at 1.47.
Yeah, and
he's similar to the 1573 Bronson.
Same thing. I mean, I really couldn't not use it. It's a really good comp. So and it's in bad shape, like my subject. I could have, like all the rest of them, the other two.
Yeah.
They're more average condition. So I did bring them down a little bit because the subject is not in good shape.
Yeah, you consider the subject average, right?
Well,
that's the location. I'm sorry, or the condition. Quality of construction, average.
Right. The condition is fair.
Fair. Okay.
And the first comp, same thing. That's also fair.
Okay.
So I didn't make any kind of condition adjustment for that. But I don't know.
1573 is considered a cape, huh? Do you adjust for style?
You know,
You put it as a cape, I don't
colonial,
know if the town.
you know, it's got 2 stories. You know, it's yeah, I don't know how the value jumped so much, or even where they came from it before, but you know, it just where they have the square footage as part of the house, which, you know, it is heated, but it's a separate area, so that's important for the town to know. And that's
it for that one, pretty much?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
It was a little scary in that house. I've been in scarier ones. It wasn't the borderline.
Okay. I'm going to help you, so there was a question on the UPS, or whatever it's called there, TQS.
TQS, yes.
Okay. This is for me. Authorization. Did you send an electronic copy of these to the assessor's office or no?
They told me not to.
Really?
I started doing it.
You would think that would be way easier. They could just do save as a PDF. Otherwise, they got to go to the scanner and scan this big thing.
I had the same thought process, and I started sending them, and then they told me not to, and then they told me to do it, they told me not to do it, so I haven't been doing it.
Okay, no worries. I thought it was easier for them, because I'm seeing they got to get that in the computer, and then it's jammed.
That's what I thought too. You know, you and I, we were going back and forth, and Ross said yes, and then somebody else said no, so I haven't been doing it.
Okay, so we want to move on to the next one?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go a little faster, we'll see. Okay, so this is appeal number 280.
Yes.
The property address is 60 Range Road.
Yes.
The owner is Allison Thomas Mindrum.
Yes.
The town has the property valued at $1,126,000, and you're requesting a reduction to $975,000. And if you could just state your name and that you're the duly authorized agent for the record again, that'd be great.
Certainly. Gregory Lane, Lane. Business address is P.O. Box 578, Southport, Connecticut. And I'm representing the homeowners, Tom Mindrum.
Perfect.
So here's 2 color appraisals again for you.
Okay.
Okay.
They changed their mind on this, I know.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do all day long. I mean, all the banks get everything sent to them electronically, and even PDFs. They do XML files, ENZ files. There's all kinds of ways to send it. So PDF is actually pretty easy.
Yeah. Let's make sure I find this. All right. Here. The appeal number 280? Number 280. I just got to write it on the top of these. Okay. Okay, let's talk about 60 Range Road. Did you need me to call the field card up for that as well, or?
Not really.
Okay.
No, this was more straightforward.
Sure.
Again, thank you for your time, Kathleen, for being here. Hopefully you're almost at the end here, your last week, I guess, or do more next week too?
Hearings will hopefully become, the majority of them, we have a few stragglers by Monday.
Oh, okay. So.
But we have 550 decisions still to make.
I thank you for your time.
Yeah, you'll see. Don't look at me in April.
No. You'll be on vacation.
I hope so. Permanent, probably.
So, again, I'm using positive time adjustments due to the marketplace increasing. We're using the same rate of positive time adjustments. Actually, I see a typo on the first page. It says 6%. That should say 12%. So if you go to the 4th page of the report, about a third of the way down, under market area description.
Subject from? No.
No, it's in the appraisal. It's,
Yes.
like a third of the way down under market area description. It has market analysis data. It has 6%. That should be 12. And so
Let me just change it on the copy that they're going to scan in. Okay.
okay, I used 12% for my time adjustment, so that's correct. I'm just dependent upon which town we go to. Sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's 12.
Right here. Oh boy. All right. Then when they scan it, it will have the correct. Okay.
Okay. So the subject property, 60 Range Road, Southport, Connecticut. It's fairly straightforward. What I do want to point out, you can see on the map that I've included, it's on Range Road, but Holes Highway is audible and it's visible, and you can hear it, you can see it from the property. So it's not quite as good as some of the other properties that are located inside. There's some other properties over on Range Road and Flintlock and then Acorn. Those are my comps. They're a better location because they're not right on Holes Highway and they can't see Holes Highway. So I think that the value should be brought down for those factors.
So did you adjusted for that?
I did. I adjusted 5% for the location and 5% for the view based upon the proximity to Holes Highway.
5% location and 5% for the view.
Right. And then everything else, this one's is 39 years old, so it was built in 19, I don't have the number right in front of me, but it's kind of fixed up, but there's some other ones in there that are in much nicer shape. The second comp on Range Road, that one has been fixed up, so I did make an adjustment for that. But other than that, it's just, in general, you could look at my sales, and the adjusted values, 2 are below $1 million, 1's just over $1 million. So the 975 value is just kind of, if you take all three, and you don't take the 3 and you take the numbers and divide by 3, it's not that scientific, so you just kind of use a rounded number. So I feel that 975 is a fair value.
So you rounded the 871, the 1,000,001, and the 961.
Yeah. So
okay.
yeah, like if the third one's kind of in the middle, but it's kind of a little low, so I bumped it up a little bit. So I believe 975 is a fair number.
Okay. And if any one of the comps is the closest in
they're all close. I mean, Range Road is 0.12, Flintlock's 0.31.
No, I just meant in style, size, all of that.
Some are bigger, some are smaller.
Colonials, okay.
Yeah, Acorn's bigger. The other two are smaller. Actually, some of the bath counts are more, some are less. So that's what you try and do. You try and get something lower, you try and get something higher, and then you kind of come in the middle. So you find something worse, you find something better, and then after you make your adjustments, you try and find some kind of a reasonable mid-range.
And were there any comps you did not consider because you didn't feel, even though they might be in the neighborhood, you didn't feel they were good comparisons?
I didn't print out a list of the ones that I didn't use, I don't think.
Okay. We've just been getting some of that, so I started to ask that question sometimes.
No,
okay.
There weren't really that many sales there. These were the best ones. They're all close. They're all within a half mile. It isn't always so easy to get them in that time frame with the rebound. So it's pretty limited there. But just being fair, I feel 75 is a fair
Is a
value.
good number? Okay. Sounds good. So that is number 280, Range Road.
I'm sure I'm putting things in the right place here.
Well, there's a lot of paper. I wouldn't, you gotta
And with,
absolutely stay organized.
Yeah, with the executive orders in place now, there's just that much more that we have to do. In other words, this is all being broadcast live because the public can't come in. All of our deliberations have to be live. They have to be available on the website 24 hours after. That might be one of the reasons. Okay.
That's why you're cold.
Yeah, in this old box, but it rattles so much they turn it on when people are in here. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the next one, which is appeal number 516.
Yes.
193 Half Mile Road. The owners of the property are Gregory and Eleanor Page. The town has the property valued at $1,111,700. They're requesting a reduction to $950,000. And again, you are the authorized agent on the property. Greg Lane. Okay.
Yes, good morning. Gregory Lane, Lane, business address, P.O. Box 578, Southport, Connecticut, 06890. And I'm representing Gregory Page for the property address 193 Half Mile Road in Southport, Connecticut.
We started about what? 13 on the screen. Are 516. And there's nothing else in the file that I need to pull out, right? So I'm going to put this purple folder away right now. So
this one's fairly straightforward.
Okay. Let me just paper flip this side. Oh.
Okay, so the subject property, 193 Half Mile Road, Southport, Connecticut, the single-family dwelling. Again, thank you, Kathleen, for being here as part of the board. I also like to thank the board for doing their duty. It could be a somewhat thankless job. I mean, you got quite a bit of work ahead of you. Again, I'm using positive time adjustments. The percentage increase per year is correct on page 1, 12% per year, subsequent to April 1st, 2020. The subject property, it has 1.62 acres. I have photographs, and you can even see by the front photographs, the property is severely sloping, and there's a lot of ledge. So in the appraisal industry, we use a word called utility. So the utility of the property is lacking in a big manner. Leave alone as being sloping, there's ledge, and about halfway through the first page.
Give me 1 second. I just want to call up that field card for this one. I just put the folder away. So we are on 193
half mile.
That's
right.
The field card. Okay.
Right. So the land, they got 1.62. It does
they do have a condition factor on the property of 0.95 for the ledge.
Right.
Okay.
So basically, if you look about halfway through the first page of the actual appraisal report, which I believe is page 5 in the report, I have on here it says, adverse site conditions observed on the day of inspection include the subject site's utility is extremely limited, as property has an extremely small footprint to construct as the land slopes severely. The ability to construct adequately is severely compromised.
I'm sorry, where are those notes again?
It's the 5th page of the appraisal.
Oh, so I look at the numbers on the top. I see your page numbers at the very top, 5, 6.
Yeah, it says page 4 on the top.
Page 4, okay.
Right. And about halfway down, it's under site description.
Got it.
And then
extremely limited, okay.
Yeah, so that's important because the land value should be reduced to that. And I see they did note it on the field card and they kind of threw them a bone. But I think that the site should have a bigger deduction based upon the topography.
Okay, so 1.6 acre of property.
Right.
Okay. And how much of that would you say is usable land?
Maybe a third, maybe like half acre, or
buildable.
Yeah. Let's say 0.62. Basically, 1 acre is sloping, it's ledge. You can't do a whole lot with it.
Okay.
Fortunately, I found 2 comps right on half mile. I actually appraised one of them. So the subject, you can see by the photographs, the bats are old. The kitchen they did update, but the comps on the street, I did use positive time adjustments, but some of them are significant. Like the second comp had almost a $50,000 time adjustment. So it certainly brought the values up with those. But there's 2 on half mile. The second one on half mile.
What's the square footage on the subject property?
Subject is 3778.
3778. Okay.
Right.
Because I just see one of the comps is only 2,100 square feet on one of that 340 half mile. Right.
Yeah, that's the one. There was a fire, and I put that at the bottom of that page. You can see I made some notes. The first comp on half mile, which is 351, is sold in May of 2020. There's only 1.02 acres, but compared to the subject property, it's the same utility. And I put that down towards the end of that page. I have down there, comp 1 site adjustment was not made as utility is similar. And I have that in bold.
Okay, so 351 half mile, comp number 1.
Right.
Okay. Let's see, 351 half mile, no land adjustment because because the utility of land is similar. Okay. You know, not for next Sunday, it would be great if you guys would like put the notes in red. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so just in general. Like
I tried to bold it. I did it in bold.
Bolding helps because you know there's so much stuff that you have to say anyway.
So much stuff.
It's really hard to find, and everybody's are a little bit different.
Yeah.
To find, like, you know,
I agree.
Okay, where's the guy? You know, where is he telling me? You know, the most important stuff. So anyway, I'm just saying. I'm getting better at it, but I've been doing it for 4 or 5 years now. So.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, to find everything, and the lines are not always the same. Some people's dates, the sale dates are terrible on some of them. They're all mixed in. It's hard to read them. So, okay. So the 340 half mile. So the first one, the utility didn't adjust the land at all. It is a smaller square footage.
Yeah.
And it is 1 acre versus 1.62 acres.
Right.
These are all colonials. The 340 half miles, like you said, had a fire.
Yes, and it was totally
So it's all redone.
Yes.
Okay.
So it is smaller, but I really couldn't not use it, Kathleen. You know, it's right on the street. It's right across the street, to tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So and it.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that you put it in there. Okay.
And when I did it, I would say it did seem, there was definitely fire damage in there, so that's why I made the adjustment, because it's basically new. And then
the fire was before or after? When was the fire? After the new construction was done?
No, before.
So that's why they did the work, because it was
exactly.
Fire. Got it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and then you've got 240 Acorn Lane on there. I think
Right.
that may have been on one of the other ones as well.
It was,
so-
you know,
okay.
smaller site size, so I did make the adjustment for that.
Mhm.
It's a newer house. It was built in 1920. It was built in 2000, so it's in much better shape than my subject that's 46 years old. It's got more fast. It's a bigger house, but even still, it only sold for $1,060,000.
Right.
Less land, but if you look at the utility, it's probably, you know, fairly. So again,
Okay.
just bringing together the numbers, and the 950 seems fair. I'm not trying to
So you just kind of
high or
put
lower.
them together. Okay.
Yeah, you know, we're at 993. We're at 850. So I actually kind of bumped it up higher than I should have. I think I relied more upon the first comp because I didn't have to make such big adjustments.
Right.
So
On the first comp, on that 351.
more so, you know.
Okay. Great. Anything else you want to say about that one, or?
No, I think it's fairly straightforward. You know, look at the pictures. They got old pink bathrooms in there.
Yeah, I saw that when I was looking through. It's definitely showing its, you know,
Yeah.
age for the, and it's hard, you know, you get the big square footage houses and all, so much work, so it's, when you got, you know, a 1,500 square foot house, you can fix it up pretty quick.
It's
When you got
easier.
4,000 square feet, it's
It's
like, oh, God.
Well, it's like, where do you start? A lot of square footage.
Oh, I know, we bought too big when we downsized. Now, same thing. Too many
I
square
know.
feet to fix.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I love it, but it's not. You do one part and you're like, oh gosh, we still have a lot.
Well, it's like people,
Paint can only do so much, right?
when you buy antiques, and it just doesn't stop. You like open a wall, and it's like another big can of worms. And you know, open a window, it's like, oh my God, you got 34 more windows. So, oh boy.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go on to, I know you've got 11 o'clock someplace.
That's okay. No. This is more important. We have time. That's
Okay,
fine.
so I'm going to read this one into the record. This is appeal number 515, 886 Cedar Road. The owner of the property is David Harmless. The town's value is $1,096,000. The requested reduction is to $925,000.
That's correct.
And the authorized agent, Greg Lane, is going to read his name and once again into the record.
Good morning. Again, Gregory Lane, Lane. Business address is P.O. Box 578, Southport, Connecticut, 06890. I'm representing the owner, David Harmon, 886 Cedar Road, Southport, Connecticut. So here's an agent certification.
All right.
That's my offer. That's the sworn statement. And two originals. And this one should be fairly easy. I use it. It's right around the corner from Half Mile. It's on Cedar Road, but it's on Cedar Road, but it's not really on Cedar Road. It's like a dead end, but there's still a Cedar Road address, so it's not as busy. So it's not as busy of a location as you might think.
Okay, so is that the end of Cedar Road?
No,
Oh, you said
it's like 3/4 of the way through. If you want to open the appraisal, go towards the end.
Give me 1 second, I'm going to...
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah,
Take your time.
this paper clip this and then...
It's actually like
I'm not sure.
next to the last page gives you the best for that, and then if you go a couple pages before that, there's some more maps too, so you can see first where it is. Typically, I would make an adjustment for it being on a busier road, but it's not really on Cedar Road. That's my point.
So no adjustment for busy road.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I mean, it's very similar to the Half Mile Road location because it's much more private back there than on the main road.
Okay, so there's some pictures.
So I'll back up a little bit. The subject property is 886 Cedar Road, Southport, Connecticut. It is a single-family dwelling. It was built in approximately 1976, 3,252 square feet. The site size, 1.80 acres in a 1-acre zone, so it's conforming. I did use a positive 12% time adjustment subsequent to the 4/1/2020 date. The house is in above average condition, and the comparables utilized were the same comparables that the appraisal we just spoke about, the half-mile road, the 2 1/2-mile road, and the one over on Acorn. This site it's a much more usable piece of property, so I didn't need to make the adjustments that I did for the other property. But again, with the positive time adjustments, the half-mile road property and the Acorn property are all similar in location and view. The site sizes, some are a bit smaller, so I made the adjustment for that. And after the adjustments, the market value was basically determined to be approximately $925,000 based upon all the sales. I didn't rely upon any one sale. The high sale is the first comp at $1,026,000, and then the other two are in the 800s. So we just try to reconcile with a market value that was fair.
Sure. So the 351 half-mile sold really quickly, right? So it does on market 24. Is that from list to sell?
From when it listed, some of those numbers are a little bit fishy because the brokers play with those numbers.
Right.
I put what's on the listing.
On the MLS? Okay.
Yes, that one did sell quickly, and you can see it was on. It probably went on in April of last year and sold in May.
Right.
So that did sell quick, and I did use a positive time adjustment there.
Of 39 to 40 grand, 40,000.
Yeah,
okay.
which accounted. I think that was either like 5%. I think because it was after the 4/1 date, so
right.
you had to break that down. And the other half-mile has a $48,000 market time adjustment, and then Acorn not as much because that was in August, so it was just 1 month of market appreciation. But that's not bad for 1 month. You can make an extra $10,600.
Right. This house has 4 fireplaces.
It does.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's got a lot of fireplaces.
Yeah. Unfinished basement, 3,500 square feet.
Right.
Okay.
Nothing fancy, center wall colonial.
Yep, and good is better than above average. Is that right? When
Yes.
you're doing
Yes.
things?
Yes.
Okay. So
Good,
this is
yes.
less quality
Right.
than the other. So you did
Right.
some condition. And you
I
use
did.
what, 50,000 a square? What do you use? $10 a square foot? No. What's your adjustment for?
For the adjustment, GLA was adjusted at $60, and that's down there below, right where it says.
Yeah, I see that. $60 a square foot.
Right, and a bath at 15, half bath at 10, and then excess acreage at the 50,000. But the comps kind of speak for themselves. We're not looking for a major reduction. Again, we're just trying to be fair.
Yeah.
And it's fairly straightforward.
Kathleen, sorry, it's about 10:30.
Awesome, and I've got a phone call,
You have a
right?
phone call, and he just gave me a better number for him, so that's the better number
Right here?
for your phone call, yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, Greg, anything else on this one you want to tell me? I'm just looking at the
No, I think we're good.
flood map, just looking for where the comps are, up mile Acorn.
They're all
So
right there.
just north of South Cedar Road. Yep. As we discussed some of these, all these comps come back
Of course they do. They have to.
With everybody, because they're sick.
There's only so many.
I know. So some, by the end of this process, somebody's going to be like, oh.
You're gonna
Especially
be-
they come back for 5 years. They don't just come back this year.
So
they're going to, it's important to know what they are. And
absolutely.
be familiar with that.
Absolutely. So,
When people use them.
I'm trying to make it as easy as I can for the board.
I appreciate
That's my
that.
job. I mean, really, that's the way I am focused. How can I make your job as easy as I can for you to say yes to me? That's all. It's that simple. So if I can get my point across, 2, 3, 4 points across, so you can get them across to the board,
Exactly.
and then you can just move along to the next one. So,
Yeah, what we're going to do, I think, going forward is we're going to try to, actually do like a little summary sheet like this, because
Yeah.
you guys do your appraisals this way.
yeah,
Most of us, when we're writing our notes, go across like this, you put your comps, you put your columns, you write something about which one is this, higher, lower, that, and then have everybody do a one-page summary.
a little summary.
Sometimes we get 100 pages of,
But that's
and
too
it's
much.
just impossible in 10 minutes to deliberate and everybody to review.
That's
Even
not
for
fair.
me to review 100 pages.
That's not fair to you or the board.
Right.
That's
So
why.
we glance at the photographs, so it's always helpful to have that. But honestly, like a one,
Oh,
as a board, we're just, we're
summary
trying to figure
page.
out how to make it better. Yeah. So then when I
Um,
go to present it and I've got 80 to present, I'm like, okay.
Where do you start?
Where did I start? I attach it to my notes, and not that the rest isn't here for me to refer to,
Right.
but it helps us consolidate. 'Cause otherwise
Absolutely.
we're scrolling online.
That's what when I give my spiel, I try and just go point by point by point.
Exactly.
So when you do make your summary to the board, it's easier for you. It's easier for them to understand.
Exactly.
I am trying.
I know, you hear all our questions, you see what we got, so I appreciate that, thank you very much.
Well,
So, all right, I think
I don't
I can
envy
read
your
it,
job, but I thank you.
not at all, and I think you know how it all goes,
I do.
right?
I know the drill.
Board's decision,
I've got
letter within 7 days once we decide. I don't think we're gonna make all our decisions in March,
No.
there's 550 left, I don't know how we're gonna possibly do that, and it's almost the middle of the month.
I'm telling my clients 1st of April, but don't push me. When I get it, I get it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all.
and then obviously if they wanna go to court, they can do so, and
Oh,
how
yeah.
to do that would be in the
That's
in
a
the
different
letter.
ballgame.
Yeah, a whole different process. So, all right. Please say hello to your wife for me.
I will. Thank you.
How's she doing? Good? Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got children are home, they're not home, they're back and forth. We got puppies for your children. Oh, boy.
I know my 30-year-old got a puppy too, so, and now he's in, staying in we have a place on the Cape, it's dogs at the Cape house. Yeah,
Oh,
tearing out
oh.
the backyard digging holes.
Oh.
Golden retriever, so she started out like this, but and she's adorable. But
Oh.
I know, they're both around. They both have given up their apartments, they're going back and forth between Connecticut and the Cape and their dad's house, and, they're having fun.
Aren't they lucky?
They are. It's an interesting time, and I love them, so
Yeah.
I
We'll get
always
through it.
appreciate them being around.
We'll get through it. Again, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a couple more, I think, on Wednesday. I think in a couple more, but I'm almost done.
Almost done. Well, good for you.
Thanks.
Take a break.
And it's back to dealing with the bank underwriters. You guys were easy. Now you deal with the banks. Thanks,
Sounds
Kathleen.
good. All right.
See
You're
ya.
welcome.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Good morning, this is Aaron.
Good morning, Erin. This is Kathleen Griffin calling from the Board of Assessment Appeals in Fairfield regarding appeal number 298.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. So as I just said, I'm Kathleen Griffin. I am one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals, and I'm here to hear your appeal this morning. And I just wanted to let you know, I'm going to turn the phone here a little bit, that you are being recorded. Okay, and I'm just going to read a few things into the record first regarding your appeal. I have that your appeal number is 298. The property address is 1761 Post Road. The owner of the property is Sealand Fairfield LLC. The town value on the property is $5,389,100, and you're requesting a reduction to $1,700,000.
Correct.
Okay.
And again, I appreciate you allowing me to appear by phone. But,
No worries.
yeah.
Happy to do so. And I'm just going to ask you if you are the owner of the property or the authorized agent on the property, and to please state your name and which you are for the record.
I am the authorized agent of the tenant, Key Bank, and Aaron Jacobson.
And you're an attorney, so I don't need to swear you in, right? It says Esquire after your name here, so I'm assuming that.
That's correct.
Okay, so this is your opportunity to tell us why your client would like the assessed the appraised value. I'm assuming this is an appraised value reduced to $1,700,000 from the town's appraised value of $5.389.
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct. You know, I kind of just put a value there as a kind of a placeholder. What I did is what I'll do is I'll talk a little bit about the property, and then what I did is I conducted an income approach on the property. So first, as you indicated, we're talking about 1761 Post Road. That's a freestanding bank branch. It's about 3,195 square feet, built in 2007, and as you indicated, fair market value is $5,389,100. That comes out on a per square foot basis to $1,686. I do a lot of work for KeyBank throughout the Northeast with challenging assessments, and this branch alone is one of the reasons why we challenge it, because it was increased, but also it's one of the highest values I think I've ever seen for a bank branch throughout all the Northeast. I do a lot of work in New York State. I've never seen it this high. So that's one of the reasons why we challenged it. But a lot of the things, too, with KeyBank going on, before I get into the income approach, is that they're closing more than 70 branches in their network this year. A lot of that has kind of been attributed to a couple of things, kind of obviously the pandemic that we're in right now. It's reduced foot traffic into these bank branches. But another thing, too, what KeyBank's done is they've really invested a lot of money into their digital platforms. So they're less relying on these brick-and-mortar stores, and they're focusing more on people doing online banking. That's going to have kind of an impact, a decreased impact on these real estate values for these types of properties. So what I did here for this particular location is I did the income approach, which I'll walk you through. And what I did is I used their actual rent that KeyBank is paying. They're estimated their gross rent is $358,044. So what I did from that value as my start, I deducted a market vacancy of 5%. I could have gone a little bit more because of everything going on, but 5% is a pretty conservative number. So when I take that number, my effective gross income was $340,142. And then what I did in my approach next is I estimated some expenses. And this is so what I did is I took 3% for management fee for these types of properties. That's pretty conservative. Repairs and maintenance, 3%. And then a 1% is kind of any other expenses that don't relate to that. So that total expenses per year is around $23,810. It's just an estimate, but my net operating income came out to $316,332. And then what I did is I deducted it from that capitalization rate. I used 9%. People could use 8%. I think it 9% warrants because of everything going on, as I just indicated. You've got store closures, you've got investments in the digital platforms. I thought 9% for retail was appropriate. So what I did is I took that net operating income, divided by the cap rate, and I came out to a value on an income approach to $3,514,799. That is almost, it's far below than what the town has at 5.3. And I think
can you state that number again? I'm sorry, $3,000,005 what?
$3,514,799, and that's just doing an income approach.
Right. Okay.
And that's kind of really where I focus. I do think that with everything going on, I think that would be, at least a starting point for some sort of reduction for this type of branch. It's still pretty high, but using Inc. approach, using the actual rent, that's what I came out to.
Okay, and a 9% cap rate, you said.
I use a 9%, that's correct.
Okay. Did you calculate it with a 7 or an 8% cap rate? I've heard a few commercials, and some of them are using, they're giving me figures for 7 and 8, so I just was wondering.
Yeah, so if I wanted to do, let's say 7%, do you want me to tell you what the numbers would be?
Sure.
I mean, if you brought it up, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, if you got it right there, and this is your thing. It's not,
My show, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I did a 7% cap rate, which I kind of think is a little high.
Okay.
I mean, for this,
I agree. Yeah, or I shouldn't say I agree. I've heard people preferring 8.
Right.
I haven't heard 9 yet, but yeah.
So 7% would be $4,519,028.
Okay.
And then if I did an 8, which you're saying that a lot of
I have heard that. Yeah.
it would come out to $3,954,150.
Okay.
So if I use 8%, that's still far below what the town has at $5,389,100. So basically, kind of summing everything up, using that income approach, using the actual rent, it would require a significant reduction to the market value of this property. And that's basically everything that I have.
Okay, and I do have a file here. Let's see. Yeah, you've included the income, right? You've included all the paperwork. We've already got that on file. So.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's only one tenant, right? There's no other tenants in that building.
Right, just one tenant. And also, too, let's say if you start reviewing this information, you have any questions, I'm happy to, you can email me, and I'll be happy to get any information you need to conclude. But I believe everything, you should have everything.
Okay, great. And the 585 number, do you know if that's the number you provided at the beginning, or that's a different phone number than the original? I'm just, I've got it on a scrap piece of, I got it 218. Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, that's different. That's my personal cell phone.
Okay.
That's probably the best number if you get to something, you have a quick question, I'll be happy to pick up the phone and I can answer as best as I can.
Yeah, but the other number, that 218-1690 extension 206, that reaches you as well, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Well, that's my direct line.
Okay, perfect. Is there anything else you want to tell me, or I think you've got everything here in the record?
I think that's it.
Okay. Great. So I just want to thank you for your time today to let you know that, I'll be presenting your case to our board of, to a majority of the board at a deliberation session we hope would be in March, but with 650 appeals, and we've only deliberated 100. I'm guessing we're going to be going into April. But once a decision is made, we will notify you within 7 days of that decision. And if you are not happy with that, if you're denied, you can come back. If you are granted something, you can't come back for 5 years, but in either case, you can continue on the process to court, and how to do so will be in your decision letter. So. Okay. Great.
Perfect. Now I have a question. 650, is that seems pretty high. Is that a typical year? I mean, I know that there was a reval, I believe.
It's our reval. Mm-hmm. And because we are hearing commercial properties over $1 million, which not all BAAs do, we've got 167 of those are commercial. So, but still with residential real estate, that puts us, still around 400. And those are more difficult, obviously, people's homes than, not that the commercials aren't, but it's just, it's a lot.
No, it's a lot. I think doing it by phone, I think, is very efficient for a lot of people, too. I understand we're in a pandemic, but I've seen that a lot of hearings I've been doing recently, even doing web, I guess they've done it on the internet. They've used like Microsoft Teams and web apps. Mm-hmm. I found that has been very efficient as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, our statutes, at least in Connecticut, are that the person has to physically appear. But with COVID, we were allowed to offer phone. Yeah, so that it is. It's been a little bit. It's been more efficient. People tend not to stay as long, take as long. They don't have to take their coats off. Just speeds the process up a little bit. We don't have to get out of our chair and walk over and get things from them. So, But
Right.
it's all good. It's nice to see people as well, you know, especially if we've been in our house for a year now, so.
A year. I can't believe it's been a year.
Can you? I know, it's crazy. Looking forward to warm weather and taking my mask off, hopefully. Before too long.
No.
Yeah, sounds great. All right, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Come on in, have a seat. A little chilly in here today. Usually it's 100 degrees. So I didn't wear, you know, boots or anything.
I know the wind is what.
Yeah. Usually this room in particular sometimes it's super hot, but maybe not from the roof. So I don't know. Here it is. Okay. Forget what I need to say. So it's always good to have my paperwork here. Getting up here. And I'm Kathleen Griffin. I'm one of 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals, and I'm here to hear your appeal today. And you're going to be recorded on this phone here. So, I'm just going to say a few things about your appeal. We got the time down here. It is 10:50 a.m. So your appeal number is 154. Property address 185 Sherwood Farm Road. The owner of the property is Joseph Gill. The town has the property at $1,134,700, and the requested reduction is to $1,050,000.
Yep.
Okay, great. And then also, if you could state your name for the record and say whether you are the owner or an authorized agent on behalf of the owner.
My name is Carolyn Gill, and I guess I'm an authorized agent. I'm the spouse of Joseph Gill, and we own the house together.
Okay, is your name on the deed?
I guess not.
Okay, because normally, believe it or not, I mean, I'm not going to send you home, but normally we, because you are not on the deed, you need him to give you an affidavit. I know, you can submit it afterwards, saying that you are, unless you put him on the phone while you're here or something, so that you can speak on his behalf. You know, we never know whether there's a situation going on, you know, who knows what. So that's why we do it.
Okay, do you have a second for me to try to get him?
Sure. And like I said, he could always fill out that affidavit afterwards. And
Okay, if you wanted, is there a form for that?
Yeah,
okay.
I'll have Catherine give you
Okay.
one downstairs. Yeah, it's also online, but she can probably print one out for you downstairs. So
Do I not sign this, or?
Well, just sign it. Yeah, you can sign it, and we'll just say that you are the duly authorized agent. I'll just write that. It's okay. I'll take it from you for that. But that's the only. It's all required by statute, by state statutes, pretty regulated the process. So. Okay, we just need to get these affidavits.
All right, sounds good, thank you. You as well.
Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is ask you to raise your right hand, and I'm going to swear you in. You can stay seated. I'm just speaking because the microphone doesn't always pick up. So, do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, great. So now this is, did I ask you to read your name in the reference?
I think so.
Yeah, okay, so we're good. Okay, so let me just put this away. So now's your opportunity to tell, me and through the board,
Well,
the reason for your appeal.
I emailed this document originally, the land survey, or the lot line revision map that was dated May 19th, 1998.
Okay, perfect.
So basically there's two reasons why I think the assessment is too high. The first is I believe that the land is appraised too high because it doesn't take into account the amount of conservation easement we have on the property. Our lot is 1.44 acres, and only about 0.5 of that is unencumbered with any easements.
I'm sorry, how much, 0.5?
No, 0.5.
0.5 has no easement. Okay.
Right. So, over 1 acre of the property, or almost an acre, I guess, has these conservation easements, which definitely the land, should not be valued as high for the easements, because we're not able to do all the things that we want to do with that
Sure,
land.
so is the purple line,
So,
because it's not a wetland setback, right? It's an actual easement?
yeah,
Okay.
there's the
There's
posts
a difference.
and
I've had
everything.
both. Yeah, I get it.
So if you look at the, I think
Yeah,
so
give me
all
one
of
second.
this
I'm just
here.
going to call up your field card while I got you here. So the address was, let's see, 185 Sherwood Farm Road. There we go. All right, let me just look at your card. I want to see first if you've got an adjustment for the easement on your property. You do. Okay, so you're at a 0.8 condition factor for the easement. So they have taken it into a consideration on your field card. But okay.
I just don't think it's
You don't think
enough.
it's enough.
Compared to
Okay.
my neighbors, like a lot of them also have easements, but we have the property that has the most easements on it. And I don't know, this is just a side note, when we moved into our house in 2004, and in 2005, we were reassessed, and I brought up this very same thing, and we were able to reduce the land value. They agreed with us.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's a different company now or what, but
No, it looks like like I said, everybody's normal property, the condition factor would be a 1 if you had, a normal lot. So you've got a condition factor of 0.8 on yours. So they've basically taken 20% off because of the easement.
I think that's way too low.
Yeah, so I don't know so can you give me the addresses of a couple of your neighbors?
Sure.
I just want to,
Yeah,
I'll look them up later, but what are the ones you think that?
So I have the details for our neighbors to the left, to the right, and across the street.
Oh, perfect, okay.
So
Is that in the file already, or no?
well, this was part of what I had submitted with my appeal application, this table.
Yeah, see, it's not, let me see. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, I missed it, I'm sorry.
So the 221 is right next door to us. And I guess their total lot size is 1 acre. They also have easements, and I know their house itself is smaller than ours. But I saw that their total assessment went down 13% as opposed to our 8%, which didn't really make sense to me. And 105 is our neighbors to the left. They also have easements, but theirs is not as extensive as ours again, and theirs went down 12%. And then actually 224, the last one on the list, they're the ones that are directly across the street. So theirs went down, 10.6. but then I did highlight 2 other neighbors. And like I said, really
The neighbor's land appraisal went down. Okay.
It's just because of the significant amount of land covered by the easement, it's like we can't put in a pool, we can't do a lot of things that, our neighbors can do.
Right. Okay, and you've got that survey map there. I'm just saying you've got 1.4 acres.
It's 1.44.
Right, there's a couple that have 1.91, 1.96.
Right.
Their land is a little bit, it's higher than yours, but it's, sounds like it's more than that. Okay. Okay, and you have a second, I think I'll look at that stuff so we don't, afterwards, and I'll check their cards and see, do they have the same .8 that you do, in which case it sounds like you need more land adjustments than they have, or we could, I can't speak for the board, but
okay.
We can consider that as part of our deliberations.
Okay.
And then, you have a second, did you have a second point you wanted to make, or was most of it?
Most was the land, and then my other point was just showing the table with the neighbor's value going down more than ours, which led me to believe that maybe it was a different company and they weren't taking into account all of our easements, because, the last one, I wasn't really that in tune with what the neighbors were doing, the last reevaluation, but the one that we had in 2005.
Did you look at your full card yet? The full field?
I just have what's on Vision Approval.
Vision, in the last month or two, we've added the actual physical card, so this is kind of like a nice way of looking at the card, this particular format, but then we also have physical cards, printed a copy for you. Let me grab that. And these are on Vision now, so if you go on Vision, there's a red button on the screen. But see, this is the real,
okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to show you.
Okay.
Right. So this is what I'm talking about on your card. See this .8 there, and it says easement?
Mm-hmm.
Most people, if they have a flat lot, you're going to see 1.
Okay.
Okay, so this is one thing you can go and look at your neighbors and see, are my neighbors at .9? Are they at .8?
So do they take into account the amount? Because, if I looked at our land, if it's 0.5 divided by 1.44, that's more than 0.8,
Yeah, land
or
is,
less than 0.8.
right, land is valued on a curve, so it really depends. You can't do a square footage calculation one property to the next because, if I had this much more room on my property, it's not as valuable as the main part of the house. So the more square footage, the less the value decrease, the increase. You can't do it on a square footage comparison, but that particular number on a card, if you see that tends to speak to adjustments to the land value, to bring it down. So if that was a 1, it's basically at 70%. They've got you at 80% good on your land.
Okay.
And it's a curve, it's a complicated formula, but it's helpful to look at that, and that's on the Vision. When you go online to the property cards now, kind of on the top of this page. Oh, where is it here? And if you look at this guy online, there's a red button up here that says Field Card now, and that will bring this up.
Okay.
And they're all dated as of 2/1. I think they loaded all the cards up. 2/9. Yeah. So it's a static card for the year. It doesn't get updated.
Okay.
This gets updated once a week.
Now, I didn't see this before I prepared my, appeal.
So when you go home,
okay.
if you have additional paperwork, because we discussed this issue, like I tell people, you can't come back with a whole new story.
Right.
But if you go home and take a look and you say, see, this is why I'm the same as my neighbors and I should be better, just email in copies of the field cards, I'll give you the email address. It's BAA@fairfieldct.org.
Okay.
And email, the 3 property cards for that, or send an email and, summarize what you saw on the cards for the other 3. and send that back, within the next 48, we're not going to decide on this tomorrow, but I don't like to say give it to me in 3 weeks because then people forget. So it's more like I'll be looking for it, when I go home.
Okay.
But if you take a look at that and you see something else that helps your story better, then feel free to do that. Did you have any sales data at all? I'm sure were there any homes that have sold? Because, the other piece is we are trying to figure out.
I know that there was one home across the street that sold. Actually, it's on my table. 224.
Mm-hmm.
That one sold for $1 million in, I think it was March of 2020.
So number 224 sold for $1 million.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it similar to yours?
Well, it has a much more pristine land lot than ours.
Okay.
It's a smaller house, but
Pristine lot, smaller house.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's in better condition. You're saying by pristine, or just the way it's been?
Because there's no easement, so it's flat. They have a pool,
And it's over $1 million in
Yeah.
March. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Because at the end of the day, you may have all these issues on your property, but if your house would have sold for $1.1 million on October 1st, then it's hard for us to say, we can give you these adjustments when as a board, we're trying to get to market value. But given that you have a neighbor that sold for $1 million, within the last year, we certainly can look at that statistic and say, okay, you've got a bigger house than them, but your lot isn't as usable as theirs. Yeah. All right. Any other questions?
I guess I just have to sign that affidavit form. Do I get it from the person?
Oh, the affidavit. Yeah. Let me see if I can get you one quickly. She may not have one. Where do we have it on? Oh, it's actually a printable form. That's okay.
Oh, is it on the?
It is actually on the website, BAA/fairfieldct.org/BAA/files. And there's a kind of a list of the forms there. But let me, I just forget it.
Oh, great, thank
Yeah.
you.
That's great. And so just return that to the office.
Does that need to be, can I email a copy of it, or does it need to be original?
It's supposed to be notarized, but I know. There's notaries here, so
So he would have to come with me for those? I guess I could get it from another.
This is actually for him. He filled it out.
But he's so busy. I know he won't be able to. This is the way I'm here instead of him.
No, he doesn't have to come in to sign it if he's got an attorney in his office or anywhere he's nearby, someone who can notarize it for him. It's just giving you the authority to speak on his behalf. So,
and when does this have to be on?
We just like it in the file before we make a decision, because it's one of the requirements. If you're not on, again, based on the state statute, if you're not on the deed, you can't come speak on their behalf unless they give you, they all give you authorized permission to do so.
Okay, so I will do my best. And if I get the original, what do I do with it?
If you have it, you can send a scanned copy to them. Like, say, I don't know if this is for him to fill out to give you the authority. That's really what
Right,
it's
but
for.
what do I do with it?
You can scan it and send it to them.
So it doesn't have to be the original with the seal punched and all that stuff?
No.
Okay.
Not to give to them.
So when you say give it to them, you mean send it to BAA?
Email it in and put the appeal number. I didn't write your appeal number at the top, but you probably have it on some of your documents.
Okay.
Just so they know what file it goes with.
Okay.
Just say, here's my affidavit.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, it's hard. The statute.
We did have it in both of our names, and then for estate planning, I think.
Yeah. It happens every now and then, and this is what happens, but we have to treat everybody fairly, and so you never know if it's a divorce. You don't know, right? Why people would want to come in and have their value taken down. So that's why we just.
Okay.
That's that's the law. We're just trying to stay with it.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I thought I saw you leave. Are you okay for your next one?
Oh, you know what, yes, I just left the copy in the thing.
Okay, fine. No problem. Okay.
Okay, great, thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Come on in, have a seat. I'm just getting some paperwork put away from the previous person, and
Okay, great.
I will be.
The 60-degree weather last week was a tease.
For sure, this is freezing. This room is usually brutal, oiling, but not today. My hands are cold. I know. I haven't put my coat back on yet, but I get there. It sure was really frustrating. So, okay. So I'm Kathleen Griffin. I'm one of 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm here today to hear your appeal, and you are being. I'm just going to walk around the glass. It's hard. You're being recorded here on that. Okay. Okay, great. And I'm going to state a few things about your appeal. Just please correct me if any of it is wrong. It is, let's see, 11:10. Your appeal number is 63. Property address is 230 Sherwood Farm Road. The owner is Sheena Veterami.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The town has the property valued at $1,115,700. And you're requesting a reduction to $975,000.
Correct.
Okay, and then I'm just going to ask you to state your name for the record and say whether you are the owner of the property or an authorized agent on behalf of the property.
Sure. My name is Shana Verderam, and I am the sole owner of the property.
Okay. Now I'm just going to ask you to raise your right hand, and I'm going to swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. So if you can just find that paper in the middle there, hand that back to me, and I will add that to your file. Okay, and now this is your opportunity to tell me, so I can tell the board why you believe your property that's valued at $1.115 by the town should be reduced to $975.
Sure. I had an appraisal done on May 1st of 2020, so not too long ago, and that appraisal did come in at the $975.
Okay, so it was a May 1st appraisal?
I'm sorry?
It was a May
1st, yep.
2020.
2020.
Okay, and what was the purpose of the appraisal? Was it for a mortgage or other reasons?
Divorce.
For a divorce, okay. I've had one of those, so I know how it is. Okay.
A lot of fun.
Other reasons for the appraisal, people have appraisals for different reasons. Some have more weight than others. But
yeah.
Bank appraisals, they're whatever. People do them for mortgages, so.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and so you have your appraisal here.
Yeah.
And so if you can just tell me a little bit about the properties that are in here and, let's see. I had to put on my reading glasses.
Yeah,
Okay. So it looks like they have comparable sales in here. Let's see, you are the subject property at 230 Sherwood.
Correct.
They have a comparable sale at 224 Sherwood, so it's, and it sold on April 1st, 2020 for $1 million even.
Just
right?
$1 million even, and that's the home that's right in front of me. And that home does have a pool. My home does not have a pool.
Oh, right in front. Okay.
And
pool. Okay.
Yeah. And where my home sits on in the back of the property, it's right adjacent to Oak Lawn Cemetery.
The back of your property.
The back of my property, so you can see the back of the cemetery. And the cemetery also has huge bulldozers now in the back that are wonderful to look at. And I keep calling them, asking them if they're building in the back, and they keep telling me, no, we're just shifting dirt, but it's quite a mess. So the house in front of me doesn't have that view.
Right, and how about square footage-wise? Is there similar condition and all that? Looks like the acreage is almost identical. They're colonial, built about the same time. Where's the square footage in here? Let's see.
It's down a little bit. So gross living is mine is just 39. There's 36.
Okay, so you have 3,900 square feet. Okay, and theirs is 3,600 square feet. Okay.
And I mean, it was built in the.
And they have a pool. I see.
They have a pool. Yeah.
Okay, so we adjusted for the pool. Okay.
Correct.
Mhm.
And overall, my house, there has really been no updating since it's been built.
Okay.
The only updates that were done to it were the master bath, because there was a huge flood, so insurance covered it. But besides that, painting of rooms, there hasn't been any update in my house, which is due for probably a new roof somewhat soon.
Okay. And would you say that the comp at 224 Sherwood did have that?
They definitely have had some updates.
Have had updates. Okay, and those pictures would be online.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's see. So he adjusted that 224 Sherwood down to 967, 366 by taking off the pool and by increasing, looks like, some square footage in the basement. You're bigger, and your house is a little bigger. The bedrooms and total rooms is a little different, but he didn't adjust for that. And then he took the $30,000 off residential woods or something, and that's probably because
the cemetery,
the cemetery in the back. So he gave you $30,000 credit for that. Okay, and then he's got two other comparables on here: the Burr Street property and the Gristmill Lane property. Oh, and then he's got some on Queens Grants and Hill Farm.
Yeah.
Okay, are there any of those on this list that you feel are similar in age, style? There are, because your appraisal was done in May. These are most of these are pre-COVID sales, and we know the market has definitely, picked up a bit since then, so.
Yeah, and then ones that aren't listed on here, though, because a realtor friend of mine, she looked up what 2 other houses on my street were appraised for.
Okay, so you want to use those ones, that's perfectly acceptable if you want to, okay. Well, what they were appraised for, or what they sold for?
What they were appraised for.
Okay. I mean, you can give me that data, because sometimes what I try to tell people is that the town may be wrong in their appraisal.
Yeah.
Right? They may have your neighbors too low.
Okay.
You might be correct.
Okay.
What we're trying to figure out is, are you, it may not seem fair, but are you correct? Like, if your house was on the market on October 1st, 2020, would it have sold for $1,115,000?
Okay.
And if the answer is definitely not, then we look at these things. But if it might have sold for that amount of money in that point in time, then we feel like, in general, the board believes, the system did a good job of estimating what your house would have sold for. So what your neighbors are, I mean, I would love to bring them all up so that, there's more on the grand list.
Yeah, no, I
So
understand.
if you want to give me that information, you can certainly read it into the record, just in terms of, how the board typically looks at information. We try to look at sales data, because that's what we're trying to get to, is market value.
Okay.
Sales. Yeah.
Okay. So there was just the 2 other houses, 254 Sherwood Farm Road and 260 Sherwood Farm Road.
Okay. And you had a dollar amount for those. Is that in here too? Maybe send it back up.
No, it's not. The 254 I was told appraised for $1,037,000.
Okay.
And again, that home has a pool and is on a much better lot than mine.
And a better lot. Okay.
And then same for 260 Sherwood Farm.
Mm-hmm. They have a pool as well.
Yeah, and that appraised for $1,016,000.
1,016.
Yep.
Oh, and the square footage and everything is similar. Okay.
Yep.
And you're at 11570.
Yep.
Okay. Were there any other sales comps on here that you felt were telling in terms of? Like you, Burr Street, Grift Mill Lane. I'm just looking at the ages of the homes. You know, they're all, one of them says Burr Street's a 2-acre property, the Grift Mill's 1.
Yeah, I mean, they're all really comparable. The 405 Hill Farm Road, that was actually, that's a year younger, a little bit smaller square footage.
It was active on the market at that point in time, I see.
Yeah.
Right, has it as an active listing.
Yeah.
Okay. So that probably has sold since then.
Yeah.
On the west side. So you think 405 Hill Farm would be considered close to yours?
Yep.
Okay. Number 6.
And then also the 520 Queens Grant Road, I mean, that's probably closest in square footage. Also got a larger basement.
Right. Is that close to you, or that's further up in Greenfield Hill?
It's a little further up in Greenfield Hill, but it's similar. It's a very similar street to Sherwood Farm.
That is a large street. Okay.
So I would say that those are probably the closest.
Okay. So it's good. Okay. So, and Queens Grant was number
520.
yeah, comp number 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And this one probably the active. Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell me or add to the record?
No, that's really it.
Is that everything?
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, so I'm just going to read you a closing statement.
Okay.
Thank you for coming. I'll be presenting your petition to a majority of the board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. You will be notified by mail of the board's decision within 7 days of the decision. We hope to make all our decisions in March, but with 650 and it's mid-March, I think it's probably going to, it's going to go into April. But if your appeal is denied by us, you can come back next year. If you're granted a reduction, you can't appeal again until 5 years from now when the next reval is.
Okay.
And if you don't agree with our decision, you can take the next step and appeal your decision in court, and instructions on how to appeal in court will be in your decision letter.
Okay.
All right?
All right, great.
Great. Well, thanks very much for coming.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
No, appraisals are helpful. This one's, a little bit, like I said, with COVID, so, but it's very helpful to have those comparables and understand what's going on there.
Okay, well, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Kathleen. Have a good one.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Catherine, I have a phone first, right? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to do that one now. Yep.
Hello?
Good morning, this is Kathleen Griffin from the Fairfield Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm calling for Ian.
Yes, speaking. Hi,
Okay.
good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing well, thanks.
Cold today, or are you far away, or?
No, I'm here in town. So,
You are? Okay.
But hopefully spring's here soon.
We hope so, yes. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a little bit about myself. I'm going to read your appeal into the record, and I just want you to correct me if any of it is incorrect. First of all, I'm one of 9 members of the Fairfield Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm going to hear your appeal today, and your appeal is also being recorded. You know, I'm just going to close the door to my room. It's a little noisy. Oh, here. Okay, that's a little bit better. So just correct me if any of this is wrong. Your appeal number is 125. The property address is 267 Wakeman Lane. The owner of the property is Ian and Jennifer. Is it Dybick?
Dybick.
Dybick, okay. The town value is $998,200, and you're requesting a reduction to $975,000.
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay, great. Then the next thing I'm going to do is, let me just write. I'm going to ask you to state your name for the record and whether you are the owner or an authorized agent appearing on behalf of the owner.
Okay, my name's Ian Dybick, and I'm the owner.
Right, the next thing I'm going to ask you to do is, I know it sounds silly because you're on the phone, but I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand and I'm going to swear you in.
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, great. So now is your opportunity to tell me why you believe the town's value of $998,200 is incorrect, and you would like the town to reduce your value to $975,000.
Yeah. So the simple explanation that we have is we have a professional appraisal that was done in October of 2020 when we purchased our house. And they declared, or they found that the fair market value of the house was $975,000. That was also the purchase price that we bought it for. So, in my opinion, that is the correct fair market value. I'm not sure where the town is getting their value from, but that's so $975,000 is, in our opinion, the correct fair market value.
Okay. Can you just tell me a little bit about your? So you purchased it in October.
Sorry, we purchased in December. I mean, we came under contract in October. That's when the inspection, the appraisal, that whole process was done. But the actual purchase date was December.
Oh, so you closed in December. Okay.
Correct. Yep.
And so the appraisal was done in October for a mortgage or a bank appraisal, right?
Exactly.
For purchase. Okay. For a mortgage. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and can you just confirm for me, was this an arm's length transaction? How long was the home on the market? Was it in other words, you didn't buy it from a family friend or?
No.
How long was it on the market? How long was it listed for?
Not very long. We made an offer the first day it was on the market. I believe there were a few other offers, but they accepted ours. So total time from being listed to closing was, I think, a little under 2 months or so, right around there. But, again, it was they accepted our offer within a day or a few days, I think, if I recall correctly.
And there were multiple bids. Okay.
That's what they told us.
That's what they told you. Okay. Okay. So you didn't have any, you didn't know the owner or anything like that. It was through MLS
Nope.
or brokers or whatever. Okay.
Exactly. Yep.
Yep. All right. Is there anything else you want to tell me? I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You've got your appraisal in here. I mean, I just called it up here. I always typically ask people if you were looking at your appraisal, was there anyone comparable in here that you would say is the most like your property? You're at, 267 Wakeman. So there's another one on Wakeman in here. There's a half mile
Right.
Pequot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's actually a house right up the street that sold for, I think, just under $1 million earlier this past summer. And it's, if you look at the comparables, it's larger. It's, 3-car garage versus ours is a 2.
has the details, yeah. I'm assuming you're referring to the 152 Wakeman Lane property. Does that sound about right? Sold for $992,500.
Exactly.
Okay, and you're saying that it has a 3-car garage versus a 2-car,
Right.
and it's a bigger home.
You know, more square footage than ours, more total rooms, I guess, more bathrooms, so pretty much everything that, you know, you look at when you're buying a house, it's larger. And you know, that's basically even coming in, or that was sold even less than what the town is appraising ours at. So that's, you know, another reason that we think ours should be the 975.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see the 3,700 square feet on that, and you're 2,978. They've
Right.
got 3.5 baths. You have 2.5 baths. And that sold for $992,500. It looks like it closed in August of 2020.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Okay. I think between your appraisal and, you know, how you're analyzing that one, the fact that it was an arm's length transaction and all of that, I think you've given me enough information. If you have anything else you want to add to the record, feel free to say so. Otherwise, I can read you a closing statement.
No, I have nothing else in my hand.
Okay, great. So thank you for appearing by phone today. It makes it nice and quick and hopefully nice for you. You didn't have to leave your house in the cold.
Very easy. Yep.
Good. I will be presenting your petition to a majority of the board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision within 7 days of the decision. We hope to make all our decisions in March, but it's looking like we're going to be deciding into April. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. If you're granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next reval in 5 years. And if you don't agree with the board's decision, you can take the next step and appeal your decision in court. Instructions on how to do so will be in your decision letter.
Okay, great.
Okay, great. So if that's everything, that concludes your appeal.
Okay, thank you
All
very
right,
much.
thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
You're welcome. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, you too.
Bye. I would see a lot before that over. Hi, how are you? Good, how are you? I am very happy to be here. That's what they say. Okay. Oh. 75 Stonebridge Road, 1M. Yeah.
Hello.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Good. Wish it was a little warmer, but other than that,
I know.
not too bad.
So have a seat, take off your coat if you're not too cold.
Thank you,
or
yeah.
whatever.
But it like looks of that thermometer, we're very cold, but the thing it looks like it does some low readings. Yeah.
90s down there. I know, yeah. Who knows? Whole building. So, welcome. I'm just going to glass sometimes. Doesn't help with the recording here. So, I'm Kathleen Griffin. I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm going to hear your appeal today, and your appeal is also being recorded here on the phone.
Okay.
So I'm going to state a few things for the record.
Yep.
Just correct me if any of it is wrong. It is 11:36 a.m. Your appeal number is 465. The property address is 32 Fields Rock Road. The owner of the property is Sean and Grace Kelly.
Correct.
The town has the property valued at $912,600, and you're requesting a reduction to $800,000
Yes.
even. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is confirm that you are who you say you are.
All right.
And I'm going to ask you to state your names for the record and whether you are the owners or the duly authorized agent on behalf of the owners.
Okay, good. My name is Sean Kelly. I'm owner of the property.
Grace Kelly, co-owner. Co-owner. Okay, great. So I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand. I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. So if you both want to just sign that sheet that Catherine gave you down at the desk, I think there should be 2 lines in the middle there.
Yes, there are.
Okay, yeah. So one on one line, one on the other, and then just leave that with me before you leave, or I can take it from you and we'll add it to the file. So. Okay, so now is your opportunity to tell me why you believe the the market value of your property on October 1st, 2020 was the amount you're requesting and not the value assigned by the town.
Okay.
Market value, as you may know, is what your home most likely would have sold for on October 1st, 2020.
That's okay. Perfect, Kathleen. Thanks. So again, when I got the letter on the 12th of December, I got it on the 14th of December. When I saw the value of $912,600, Kathleen, I thought it seemed high to me, and
I went back to my records. One of the things I do as a rule is I do a quarterly balance sheet, so I track the value of the house on the quarter end. And so at the end of, and this is per Zillow, on 30th of September of 20, it was valued $797, $794 in Zillow. So I thought it was valued about $800,000. And again, I had data points back before that. On the 30th of June of 20, it was valued $768 change. On the 31st of March, $760. And then last data point I had before that, September 30th, 19, it was $770. So the house value per Zillow kind of
You
followed.
said 797 or you said
It was
770?
$797, yeah, $797, $800 on 9/30, on 20th of September 30th, 2020.
Got it, September 30th.
So the day before the valuation, the grand estate.
Okay.
And before that, the year before that, it was $770. In the year interim, it kind of went down and then came back as the pandemic hit. Prices initially fell and then they came back, values. So I started to look at comps. In my initial application for relief, I cited comps in the neighborhood. The best comp was a sales comp that I had of a house near our house at 1677 Bronson Road. It's actually part of the, it's called 24 Half Mile Common, the original land cut up of the town. We are at 43 Half Mile Common. It sold on the August 1st, basically, for $760,000.
Okay, so hold on, $760,000 it closed on August 1st?
August 1st, yep.
Okay.
And again, 1677 Bronson Road.
Okay, and how is that like your property or different than your property?
It was built in 1954. Ours was built in 55. It's a slightly smaller lot, 1.4 acres versus our 1.5, and a slightly larger house by 100 square feet.
Okay, so 1.4 acres and you're 1.5?
We're 1.5, and we're 2146, and I think they're 2246.
2146, and they're 2246. Okay.
And same schools. We happen to know the old owners. Their kids went to school where our kids and things so.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a pool. We don't have a pool, so they have that little kicker. But again, 760 on the 1st of August 20. So and I cited a number of other comps in my original application,
right.
But that was the best one.
Yeah, are they both capes or colonials, or is
They're
their
both
style different?
basically, theirs is a ranch, pure ranch. Ours is a raised ranch.
Yours is a raised ranch.
Ours was 3 bedrooms. There was 4. Theirs is 4.
So raised ranch, and what did you say theirs is?
There's a ranch. There's a pure ranch.
Okay.
There really aren't many raised ranches. Ours is the only raised ranch in our neighborhood, so it's kind of a unique house.
Mm-hmm.
I always told the kids it was a luxury house in 1955, but not so much in 2020.
Did they believe you now?
Not so much in 2020. When they look at the pink bathroom in the hallway, they say, yeah, that's not luxury anymore.
I know. You can tell them anything when they're like 5 or 6.
Right.
But then they're like, come on, Mom, you're kidding me. So, okay. So I'm just looking through the pictures here. So let's see. 32 Field Rock is you. So I see is it a split? Or the raised ranch? You're 32 Field Rock.
We're 32.
Right?
We're split, yeah.
Split.
One side is split.
So it's kind of a split.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a colonial split. It's a unique house.
Right. You come in halfway, or you come in on the first floor?
Coming on the first floor, you got 5 steps up to the second floor that's over the garage.
And then 5 steps down to the garage.
And then 5 steps down the garage.
Okay.
And another 5 to the basement.
Right. And the comp that sold, you said the best comparable was the
it was
1677.
1677 Bronson Road.
Is this it here?
That's 1677.
That's 1677. Yeah. Okay, I'm probably on here, and I'm just not. Where am I seeing that? Similar homes nearby.
Yeah, it's just below. It says 1677 just below the picture.
Bottom there. Okay.
And then, and it's only 300 yards from our house, 300 or 400 yards as the crow flies. It's down the hill.
Okay. And I mean, I can look at this. You know that was a arm's length transaction, went on the market for some period of time.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Wasn't a family transfer or anything. Okay.
Right.
And then you have other.
I had other ones, and those were all sales comps. Those were the only area sales that I could find that were comparables, and there were other splits and things that I thought looked relatively close.
Let's say have you done any work on your home recently, or no?
No. Last thing we had was a master bath was done in 2009. I think we did our kitchen in 2002. Right?
Yeah. 2002.
And those are permits pulled for both of those. Those are listed on the card.
Yeah, I see a remodel 2002. I don't see the master bath in 2009. Did you see that on there?
I did see it. I think I saw it.
And the town's getting a new permitting system, which should help tie all this back in together, because, sometimes, I don't know. You see, remodel kitchen 2002, no rear access, fenced in 914, FBM equals one room, I'm not sure, and that must be the downstairs, with fireplace and things. They have you pointed out as a split? They do, they have you as a door level. Probably. Okay, central air, hot water.
Central air, yeah.
Okay, but no updates that aren't being reflected on the card?
Yeah, nothing that's significant. In the remodel, the master bath was just a replacement of the shower and toilet and the bandage, really, so it wasn't a huge.
Right.
I thought we had pulled for that. Those were my comps, and then I went in and actually looked at the property cards, Kathleen.
So did you have one other comp, or that's really the only one that you would need to know about? I saw some Westport ones.
Yeah, the one in Westport is over. The second one in Westport, number 2, I think is a decent comp, because that's 5 Fairview Drive. That's right on the basically on the line between Southport and Westport there.
Okay.
And so it's 626. It was a similar house. That's why I thought it was a decent comp.
So you got the 626.
And it was sold on 6/30/20. But then again, houses appreciated a little bit between that date and the...
It has been so difficult for people, and it's still a rising market, right?
Right.
Even today, when you're watching the sale, right?
Absolutely. I did the number today.
Very difficult.
Our house was up to 828 today on Zillow. So it keeps moving.
Yeah, they say, well, one of the appraisers who was in here was saying, about the banks are now requiring him to do, starting with any sales after April 1st, the 1% per month, at least, because that's just, it's been crazy. Okay.
And so then
I
say, just to finish, then I said in my application for the appeal is that, in spite of the comps, I realize that I think the model is biased to the upside. I've worked with valuation models throughout my career, and that's fine. That's what it's got to be for the town. But in spite of that bias, I looked at our property card, and there's some mistakes in the property card that I think are significant that are causing our valuation to be high.
Okay, hold on one second, please.
Yep.
Did you have an informal hearing?
I did.
Did you tell them at the informal hearing?
I didn't do the analysis on the property card until after I had the informal hearing.
Okay, so they didn't know about that?
They didn't know about this piece of it.
I mean, I had some corrections on my part at the informal, and they were not made, so I'm not sure why they didn't get made, but I called them afterwards and, had them come and take a look and remeasure and everything.
Right.
But I just want to make sure.
Okay,
so
this is new. This is new as of my
new information.
My appeal.
Yep. Okay, so give me 1 second. Let me make sure I've got the right information. So, appeal number 465. I'm just going to print out your property. Do you have a copy of the field card? So I print myself a copy.
Yeah, I do.
So I can write on it. Okay, otherwise I'll print 2. You got one there?
No, I have one. Yep.
Okay, I'm just going to print one out. And, the pretty cards, like the summary one, that gets updated every Friday, but these cards are all dated as of 2/8. So.
This one's on our property card.
Can't find it?
That's in here, I think.
Well,
No,
you're in luck because they printed 2 copies.
Oh, beautiful.
You got an extra one. It's not double-sided, but.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about what's wrong on your card.
Okay. So I'll go right down the list. And I've summarized this in a page in my appeal request. So
So it is in your appeal. Okay.
So as I say, my findings, and I say that I looked at comps, then I did an analysis of property cards. So of the 5 property cards I looked at, only 2 houses, mine at 32 Fields Rock and the house at 1677, the one I used as a comp, had value attributed to unfinished attics. So I questioned that. I said, why don't these other houses, and I used other houses in my neighborhood, nobody has value attributed to unfinished attics. But regardless, because ours is a walk-up, that might be the reason it gets value attributed to it. So,
let me just find the page. And you said that this is in here too?
Yes.
Okay. Is it this page here?
It's on,
The finished basement square footage calculation page, or no?
yeah, it's on the first page. Okay. Oh, you're looking at what I did?
Yeah, I'm looking at
Yeah,
what you've already
if you look
said.
at that first page, the first page here, I mean, that's my little drawing, but before that, there's a summary page like this, right? It should be the second page, right behind the first.
Way at the beginning.
Yeah, right at the beginning.
Okay, depends how they scan them sometimes
Yeah.
too. Okay, yep,
You
there
got
it is. Okay.
So if you go to that first paragraph, first bulleted paragraph.
The dimensions on the basement are off?
Yep, dimensions on the basement are off. That's the second bullet though. The first bullet is the dimensions on the attic.
Okay.
And the thing that the attic dimensions do is they list the unfinished attic at 1,222 square feet, which I say equals the size of the area over the common areas, the first floor of the house.
Mm-hmm.
When the kitchen was redone in 2002, the ceiling above the kitchen was moved up to the roof line, so it was cathedral ceiling. So the floor area of the unfinished attic was reduced by 148 square feet. So the unfinished attic, even though it gets value that I question whether it should or not, even if you keep the value there, it's still smaller. And then so I reduced the value by 148 square feet. So that's basically changes the valuation, a small change in the valuation based on the model.
Okay.
Same thing is true with the second bullet, small valuation change based on the model. Its dimensions of the basement are off, and I go through that.
And you did exterior measurements?
I did interior measurements. Is it exterior?
It's exterior.
That's what I thought might be the difference.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They go around the outside of the house and measure from the outside.
Yeah. So that's what it is, because I think this house has 12-inch thick walls, so, concrete walls, so.
What year was your house built?
55.
I lived in a 55 case.
Yeah.
And boy, we did a lot of renovations, but it was a solid house.
Yeah.
Not like
That's
a
the way
60s
this house is.
I loved my 50s. Now I'm in a 40s.
Yeah.
And they're a little smaller, and it's still tight, but you got the plaster to deal with.
Yeah, that's right. And the last one's the big one. The most glaring area that I think is that the use of a depreciation percentage of 14% used on what's called improvements, which is the house. And I looked at my neighbor's house, all the neighbor's houses, and I found that, and this is in my Appendix D to the application, is that the average depreciation percentage for houses built between 49 and 64 was 35.8%. Mine was 14, so I think that somebody either fat-fingered the entry of 14 or something, because I think it's much too low a depreciation percentage for a house built at 55.
Yeah, I think the depreciation code of 6, do you see that under the cost/market valuation?
Yep.
I believe that drives the...
Right, that probably drives one, and I don't know what caused it, but...
Okay.
So I think that's the most significant change to my,
Okay. And so you saw on the other neighbors or the other, for example, the 1677 Bronson Road, you're saying most other ones have a code 5 or 4 on them?
Yeah, I'll look at that.
Okay.
I didn't do it by code. I listed
It's okay. I'm pretty sure that's
the 1677, for instance, 1677 had a 38% depreciation value.
Okay, 1677 has 38%.
45 Field Rock, which is a kind of a cape, calling a cape across the street from us, built in 49, had 36%. 115 Sherwood, which is right next door to us, so even though it's a different street, it's directly next to us, had 31%. That was built in 64.
Okay.
And was significantly renovated a few years ago, too. So.
Right.
So anyway, and the last one I cited was 92 Sherwood, which is a kitty corner fest, and again, built in 51, had a 38% depreciation percentage per the card. So I think our 14 is way off.
Okay.
Vis-a-vis our neighbors.
Right. Did you do like a super high-end kitchen or something?
No, we didn't.
Okay. Sometimes...
That's something else on the card. It says modern. The kitchen says modern on the card. And I questioned, but I didn't see really any difference in the valuation. I looked at how it was, but under construction detail here, it says modern.
Uh-huh.
And I'm wondering, 20 years ago that might have been modern, but it's by no means modern anymore. So I just don't know if that...
And there's pictures of your kitchen in the paperwork or no?
No, I didn't put pictures of it.
Okay.
It's a tiny little plain kitchen.
Okay. So it's not a high-end kitchen. Okay. No. It's been 20 years since then.
And it has been 20 years since then.
Yeah. Okay. So I think, looking at that, I'm not sure why your depreciation is that way, especially if you haven't done a ton of things to your house. So we'll definitely look at whether that was a fat finger or,
Yeah.
you know, some other reason that they decided that that was appropriate for you to have that 14%.
Yeah, and I really feel I
Yeah.
can't understand any basis for that, Kathleen, other than.
And the only other permit, like you said, the work you did was to replace some fixtures in your master bath.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people don't pull permits and, you know, but that's not the case for, you know, other than for that one. You told me what you've done in your master bath, that's not in here. Okay. Anything else you want to tell me? I probably the dimensions in the basement sounds like that's off the table, you know.
Yeah, that may be off the
You
table because, and I thought it might
understand
be because it would be the external measurements.
Right, but you are concerned about the attic dimensions.
But I am
and you-
concerned about the attic, yeah.
Okay, so if the assessor's office were to call you or send somebody else to remeasure, you'd be okay with that?
No problem.
Okay, so I'll put in that request to the assessor's office to recheck those numbers with you.
Yeah.
And we'll also look and see why your depreciation might be where it is. And you requested to go to, where's the money?
800,
800 from 9?
based on the comps, yeah, from 912 to 800
From
based on the
912
comps.
to 800 based
Yeah.
on the comp. Okay.
And then I put in my application that even based on, you know, the numbers I ran and the, what I consider an appropriate depreciation percentage, it would come down to 838 even based on the model.
That's what I was going to say. How'd you come up with your 800 number? You know, averaging comps or no? Just looking at the 760 on the Bronson Road?
Yeah, I looked at 760 and the other comps, I averaged the comps, and then I looked at what Zillow had for us at 930, which was 797.
Okay, average the comps and Zillow. Okay. And how did you come with the 838?
838 is the, and I think I have it in one of my appendices.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, I just took mostly I just used depreciation percentage. So I took the value of the house and all the improvements we had done and applied a 36.5% depreciation percentage instead of 14. So that knocked down obviously the property house value significantly. It didn't touch the land value because that's pretty standard. It doesn't change.
Right.
And
so that's what knocked your house down. Okay.
Yeah, and that's in there too. That's in there as one of the appendices.
Great.
Yeah.
I know. You guys, some of the people are so thorough. And
yeah.
I think they've scanned 25,000 pages down there.
Oh my gosh.
It has been.
Oh, it must be brutal.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I'm hoping to, you know, we're trying to make a lot of process improvements this year, but to try to get people to submit it electronically so we don't have to create, you know, they like a hard copy in the folder, but just that extra effort of having them throw it all in the scanner. And, you know, at least, and we like to have it online because it's helpful for, you know, people, especially in COVID where we're deliberating from our homes.
Right.
So, and we don't have to bring 9 copies for the 9 members. Right. So there are some benefits to having it scanned, but if you sent it that way, you know.
Well, yeah, and, you know, and again, I would have been happy to submit it all electronically too. It would have been easy.
They haven't done that before, so, but whatever. Something to look forward to.
I was just quickly looking to see if that was on I'm not going to over sweat it, but see if I'd seen that. I thought I saw something about the master bath in here. That's all right.
And Fields Rock Road is not as busy as Bronson Road. Is that accurate or not?
That's right. That's definitely accurate. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, Kathleen, thank you. Yep.
So I'm just going to read your closing statement. Thank you for your time. I'll be presenting your petition to the majority of the board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision within 7 days of the decision. We hope to make all our decisions in March, but with 650, I don't see that happening. It's going to be probably into April. But if your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. If you're granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next reval in 5 years. And if you don't agree with the board's decision, you can take the next step and appeal your decision in court. Instructions on how to appeal in court will be in your decision letter.
Perfect.
Okay?
All right, Kathleen,
Great. Well, thank you very much for coming in and getting out on this cold day.
Yep, thanks a lot.
No problem. Thank you for your, now you forget to ask for that. Thank
Yep,
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time. Oh, thank you for coming. Have a good day. You too. Hello. Hello, come on in, have a seat. You are my last one for the morning, so
Okay.
appreciate your patience.
I would figure it's hard to stay on time.
Everybody has their story, right? And I want to hear all of them. It's just very hard to do it in 15 minutes or less. So let's see. I'm Kathleen Griffin. I'm one of, and feel free to have a seat. I'm just going to talk a little bit so you can hear me.
Okay.
I'm one of 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm going to hear your appeal today. And your hearing is also being recorded here on the telephone, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to state a few things. Let's see, it is 12 o'clock. I'm going to state a few things for the record, and please correct me if any of it is wrong. The appeal number is 512. The property address is 1573 Bronson Road. The owners of the property are Alvin and DeRose.
No, Alvin Prusoff, Deborah DeRose.
Alvin Prusoff and Deborah DeRose. Okay. It's cut off on our sheet. I don't know why they did that in the mail merge. Okay. And the town has your property valued at $1,164,800. You're requesting a reduction to $900,000.
Correct.
Okay. And the next thing I'm going to do is confirm that you are, in fact, who you are. So if you could state your names for the record and whether you are the owners of the property or a duly authorized agent on behalf of the property.
I'm Deborah DeRose. I'm one of the owners.
Alvin Prusoff, one of the owners.
Okay, great. Now, ask you to raise your right hand and I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, great. So just before you leave, if she handed you, if you could both sign in the middle there should be 2 lines on that form.
We can sign now.
Yeah, you can sign now that I've sworn you in. Yep, and I'll just take that from you before you leave. Okay, and now is your opportunity to provide testimony as to why you believe the market value of your home on October 1st, 2020 was $900,000 and not the value assigned by the town. As you may know, market value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date. Please try to be as succinct as possible. Okay, you're my last one, so there's nobody waiting behind me, other than my lunch.
Thank you. We bought the house in February of 2020 for $650,000.
Okay, purchased in February of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for $600,000 even?
$650,000.
$650,000.
Yes. It had been on the market for almost 2 years, starting at $999,000, with multiple reductions in between.
Okay, starting at $990,000?
$999.
$999. Okay.
Yes. we thought that was all we were going to have to say. You know, that cannot be fair. 1,000,001 could not be fair market value because it had a chance on a fair market, and the fair market value was $650 in February.
Right, and so did you purchase it as an arm's length transaction?
It was an arm's length
You
transaction.
don't know the owners at all, or you used a broker or the normal purchasing?
We used a broker, they used a broker that we didn't know, and our broker was not familiar with them.
Okay, all right. And it's been on the market for 2 years. And what was the price when you purchased it? Was it at $650 that low, or where did it?
We bought it for $650,000.
You know what the list price was when you went into contract?
It was 700 something.
7 something, okay.
Yeah, I have it here. We thought this was going to be an easy process for us to do it.
It should be.
And then after we submitted, you know, after we got rejected in the informal hearing, and nothing was lowered, when we had explained this, people were saying, oh, you should get a professional appraisal. And then we didn't have enough time when we submitted everything to you. So we do have a professional appraisal.
Okay, is that in the record now?
No, it's right here. I have a copy here for you.
Okay, great.
And
Yeah, okay, so it was on and market around $700,000 when you purchased it for $650.
yeah,
Okay, so do you have any idea why the town would have it this high?
I think
Any inkling from you, or
maybe,
from you?
I think maybe, this is yours.
Okay, oh, great.
I think maybe 5 years ago, or what, I don't know when the last appraisal was, but
It has it all on there.
if you're asking why I guessed it was this high, the appraisal before it was $1,200,000.
The taxes were in the property were high, so the town had it at $1,200,000 previously.
I think that's what
Okay,
they're.
so the taxes were high for the house, okay.
And I think maybe because it was an absentee owner, they did not appeal it. They didn't pay attention to costs, or they thought it looked better higher, that it was going to have more resale value if it was appraised higher. But
Let me just look at your property. Look at the card. I know it's probably in your backup, but it's easier for me to see it.
Why are we only asking for $900,000?
the reason we are only asking for $900,000 is because when we started to get opinions on what we should do, people said that you guys reject it if you go too low. And the appraisal came in at $675. But
Okay.
Can we adjust that 900,000 figure?
The answer is yes. This is your hearing, so, you know, state statute requires you to state a value when you fill out your form.
Right.
And so, you know, we do that. But also when you're here in the hearing, obviously sometimes by the time you get your hearing and the paperwork, it's been 3 to 4 weeks, you have more information, you understand more, you're getting more ready. So yes, once you're in here, you can certainly change we call it your request or your ask amount to a number that you want the board to do. The other thing I would say is that the board also often will grant or they can grant it in part rather than granting it full. So if you had requested $400,000 and we looked at it and we said, well, we know we're not taking $1,000,001 to $400,000, but we do believe this person, you know, this property owner made a good case, you know, and, you know, did their homework, looked at the comparable sales, you know, had an arm's length transaction, bought it within the last year, you know, unless there's something funky going on, you know, we will often come up with a number that, you know, the risk for us of doing that is that we give you the wrong number, then you're stuck with it for 5 years. So that's the negative to giving us a crappy number is if, you know, say we adjust it, but we put you at 9. You know, because you said 5, we know, or you said 4, we know that's wrong, right? Because some people do that; they try to get as much as they want. So, you know, that's the negative to having the board come up with a number for you, is because then we assign it to you when you didn't really make your case for that number. So, but if you're making your case for the $675 because you paid $650, you have an appraisal of $675, you know, you did buy it pre-COVID.
So, there may be some market adjustment, based on the fact that this is a pre-COVID, right? They say about something like that. So if it was on the market in October, you probably would have listed it a little bit more than you paid for it just because the market was hot, right? So, right. But in general, you have an appraisal dated as of October 1st, 2020, and your appraiser has some comparable properties.
And there are comps there attached.
Okay, yeah, I see that. And so this is not in your record yet, is that right, the appraisal?
Right.
Okay.
I had done some comps that I found on Zillow, but,
Okay, sure. So the other thing I want to ask you is based on the appraisal here, do you like the numbers the comps he picked? Do you think they're like your home?
we think so.
Which one do you think, if you had to pick one of those, how many did he give you? 6. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there one in particular in there you thought is most like your home in terms of style, location?
Now, I'm hard pressed. One of the things that doesn't get taken into account is how weird the house is.
How weird.
And I wrote that in the initial thing, that because the master bedroom is on the second floor and all of the other bedrooms are on the first floor, or except for one tiny one, it severely limits how many families could possibly be interested in it, because the kids are in the noise area, and once you hit the teenagers, they can sneak out. Just as parents of now happily adult children, but
me too.
Not ones that we hadn't caught sneaking out over the years, that would have been a limiting factor for us as young parents, to say, whoa, they can just walk right out, we won't be able to hear them.
Right, I'm just looking at his comps. Is this Lower Bronson? It is, right?
It is Lower Bronson.
Yeah.
It's before you get to the triangle.
Right, so another thing I know on his comps are that they all seem like they're up further into Greenfield Hill, Fallowfield, unless I'm wrong with my geography, Hemlock Hills, Congress. Those are all, I'm not sure why he picked.
Do you have the map?
Last page.
Last page.
Yeah, showing where they all are in relation to ours. And I think at least part of it.
I don't think I have the map is here.
Okay.
But I have a copier if you want to, unless it fell out.
It should stay close to yours.
Because there was another sale on Bronson Road, right? Wasn't there a similar property sold on Bronson?
I don't know.
I'm just surprised
he explained how he picked them, and I gave you that page too, where it says comparison.
Yeah, the map's not in here,
but here,
I can see.
Sorry.
That's okay. Can I make a copy of it?
No.
Or you're good?
I'm sure it's,
okay.
I've got 2 of them in mind.
Okay, and let me just make sure I have the page where he describes it. Where's eyeglasses? All right.
What, his process of how we did it?
Yeah, did you say he had a summary page somewhere why he said he didn't pick comps on Bronson Road and he picked these ones instead?
Most of the other ones on Bronson Road are a lot bigger.
There's a page that's marked addendum, and then it says about midway through, comments on sales comparison. And
Summary of sales comparison approved.
Comments on sales comparison?
I got it. Every appraiser puts them in a different place so hard. I said to one of the appraisers earlier today, could you put it in red?
Yeah. Well, that's why I circled it, to try to make those points easier to find.
So on page 3 of the addendum, okay. When searching for comps, the first set were all cased in Colonial, built around 1953 within 1 mile of the subject. This was then expanded to include all sales from the past 6 months, 12 months. A limited number of transfers of similar closed and left have been utilized. Comparables which have closed despite being located across major roads or boundaries. Okay. What's the square footage on your property? I just want to look at it. It's 1.4 acres, right?
That sounds right.
Okay. So the town has your land value alone at $655,000.
I have given you comps on the land value.
Okay. Great. Okay.
In my originals, besides the appraiser.
Yeah.
How's the condition of the house inside?
It's not great.
I do see
That's been a rental for a few years.
Right, I do see a permit that was pulled to replace 38 windows for $100,000. Is that
Yes.
work that you guys did?
Yeah.
That's
did
work
that.
that we did.
Okay.
And all of the bathrooms have water damage. And
And you haven't done any of that work?
no, and we haven't done any of that work. No, because once COVID came, we couldn't sell our house. So we were there with two houses and.
It has been the craziest
Yeah.
time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then let me just see, and then they have your house appraised at $500,000 for the house. Okay. Sold for $1.1 million in 2014.
Yeah,
Right before
and
the
so
crash.
I think that other comp was, when you asked about the assessment, I think it was based on that sale. But it,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the, again, it's a mathematical equation, right? That, they don't do each house individually. It's done from a formula. So land has a big part of it. So that's why the land value of your property is at $655,600. Probably because because you have such a large lot. Is any of your property not usable with that 1.5 acres?
it's far as.
What the hell?
Oh, no, but I mean, that's true.
It's not a marsh, but a bunch of it's on a huge hill.
So it's a huge hill.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have any adjustment on your land for the fact that it is, despite that, so if you were to build, it would be harder to.
Do you know Warner Hill Road?
You're on Bronson Road.
Yes, but Warner Hill's our backyard. It just drops right down from Warner Hill into Bronson in our backyard. So we have this house overlooking our backyard, and by overlooking, it could be an apartment
But is the
building.
hill in the front too, so you have it like going down to the street? in
The front is a very gentle one, but the back is,
A huge hill up,
yeah,
so you own up the hill.
yeah.
Yeah.
But would you put like a swing set up there?
Oh, you
or
could not.
Can't put anything up.
Once you
Can't
get
put
to
anything.
the top, yeah, once you get to the top, there's just enough room to walk the fence line, which is a deer fence.
Is there any pictures of the home in the appraisal?
Yes.
Yeah, this is limited, so I don't have any interior pictures. I don't have any in what you gave me, so I can put the full
Here.
appraisal in the top here if you prefer.
No, I made
Okay.
copies of everything. I just didn't know what you wanted, and I did not want to.
Yeah,
overwhelm
it's
you.
okay. Sometimes the full appraisal, I mean, trust me, people, 150 pages, some people, so we're,
Okay. The other thing, the
Yeah, that's
swimming,
very helpful.
the
Okay.
swimming pool, which looks so very lovely, is not. Once we got the pool people out, it has to be, it's cheaper to dig it out and start again than it is to repair it, because apparently there hadn't been water in it and all the sides got damaged in the
It's
bottom.
cheaper to take it out than repair it.
And, yeah, they are not giving us cheap prices for that.
There's no pool.
Yeah, well, no, it's worse than no
Yeah.
pool, because we would have to pay to remove it.
Okay.
Not only
Is it usable? Can you use it?
No.
No. How much does it cost to remove it? I don't know what it costs to take out a pool.
I think they're saying 15.
Let me just see how much they're giving you how much they're charging you for the pool. So they have you with a fireplace for $5,900. They have a garage, something about finished garage, maybe 8,300 square feet. In-ground pool, they give you $20,000. They're appraising you at $20,200 for your pool.
No.
They have a lean-to at $1,600, and then a shed frame at $2,400. Do you know what those two things are?
There's a one-car detached garage that has a lean-to next to it.
Okay,
The
that
shed,
must be that.
well, that would be the lean-to. But the shed isn't, the appraiser didn't think that would be a permanent structure, because it's just on concrete blocks.
Okay.
that said, you know, for the definition of a permit,
Right.
it didn't qualify.
Is on concrete block. Okay. And then the pool you said is not usable. They are, you know, they're giving you the pool. So, and it's 4,400 square feet, right? The house, right? 3,000 on the first floor, and then the 3/4 story is 1,389 upstairs.
That sounds about right.
Okay, and they're considering it a cape, 1 3/4 story cape, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's tough house to describe, but that's probably as good as anything.
Right, right. I know, I lived in an expanded cape for almost 20 years. I actually loved it because it had a little bit of character. It wasn't your traditional colonial.
Yeah.
But they're hard to categorize. They're difficult to appraise, you know, because they're not a normal cape, which you think of a small little cape with a couple of shed dormers.
Yep.
These are expanded capes, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no. Okay. All right, is there anything else you want to tell me?
You know, I think those are the big points that
Right.
we thought what it actually sold for was clearly a fair market value because of that. We acknowledged that when people wanted to leave New York, it went up a little bit, and so we concurred, you know, saying instead of it being $650 in February, $675 in October is a fair price.
Okay, so you want to change that 900 to 675?
Yes.
Oh.
As long as it's not an all or nothing, but, you know,
No, I mean, you know, you have an appraisal here, you've got some other stuff going on. I think you've given us enough information to work with, and you don't just come in and say, because I want it to be that, I think it should be that. Or my neighbor's that, right? And I, you know, okay, maybe your neighbor's too low, we don't know.
right, and you know, and so we just wanted it to be as clear as possible. As I said, we asked people what, you know, what do you look for as appraisers? And so we gave you that stuff initially.
Right.
And then we hired a professional appraiser who came in with those numbers.
Okay, I just want to make sure I have, you did replace all the windows.
Yeah.
But all the bathrooms have leakage and drainage, how much?
All of them have water damage.
All have water damage. Are they working?
Yes, they are.
All work.
They are all working, but all of them need massive renovations because there had been leaks before we moved in.
All right. And it was a rental prior to that?
Yes. Okay. With not great maintenance. So some of...
And how's the kitchen? Is that in here? Are there pictures of the kitchen?
There are. The kitchen is older, and the appliances are older. That they were probably great appliances, but they're probably from the 1980s.
Oh, you think the kitchen's that old?
90s.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just judging by the green granite.
You've got green, okay.
I got green granite. So, yes, I got granite, but I got green granite.
I had green in my new house. I had green for mica and dark red, like a rusty red cabinet.
Yeah, and
that was from the 60s.
Didn't you just know when that was done?
Brown. Yeah, and the beads actually have come back, but not the ones.
Yeah.
It has great charm. I love my house, but it was hard. Hard to see that. Okay.
Good.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, I'm just going to read your closing statement. You know what's next.
Okay.
Thank you for coming. I'm going to present your petition to a majority of the board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision within 7 days of the decision. All decisions will be made in March. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. If you were granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next reval in 5 years. If you don't agree with the board's decision, you can take the next step and appeal your decision in court. Instructions on how to do so will be in your decision letter.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you spending that time with us.
No, not at all. Enjoy your house.
Enjoy your lunch.
Thank you. Sun is out. That always helps, right?
Yeah, but boy, is it cold.
Yeah, the dog this morning, when we walked out the door, she's a little 10-pounder. You're like,
And
where's my jacket?
Yeah, really.
I looked out the window, and there's a rhododendron out the window, and it's doing the rhododendron.
I asked Google what the temperature was, and I thought he was lying this morning when he said wind chills, like, 20 or something.
I was unpleasantly surprised, too.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
It is 12:23 p.m. on Monday, March 15th. This concludes the morning hearings in Conference Room 2.